You already did your pie, I think. Did I see on my Facebook?
I did.
Oh, my God. How we doing? Flounder, we were ripping Facebook and everything? Yep. Hello, everybody. God bless America. By the way, our friend Chrissy from Australia had been missing for a while. I hadn't heard from her on the Facebook podcast, Facebook stuff, but she's back. She was listening down under, and our friend Lynn and over in Finland, and anyway, it's good to have you aboard. God bless America. Thank you for joining us. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer Show podcast with Pete Davis, producer, sidekick, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. Hello. And, of course, a mechanical mangler Flounder at the controls, adjusting all of our stuff now as you see here at our Flounder El Condo Floundo studio. Thanks to Mike and Scott and the whole gang. Anyway, as we speak, it's Monday, podcast number 466. The 15th of August, right in the middle of, by the way, it's almost Labor Day. A couple of weeks. I mean, that's just not right. Anyway, so weekend, how was your weekend, Pete? Any interesting, would you do anything?
I tried to catch up on all my shows, Resident Alien and all that. Did a good job with that. So.
Yeah. Flounder, how about you? Any family stuff or?
Hung out with my dad yesterday. Would have been my mom's 75th birthday, so spent time with him and just kind of hung out and was lazy.
Put a little message on there, remembering your mom, as always. That's and cool. I just, I guess I'm not the only one who doesn't really. I hit balls. I hit balls, golf balls. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I worried all weekend.
You worried about what? Well, what?
I have no idea where I'm going on vacation.
Oh man, I thought you were all ready to go like right now at 3:15, and we get done with it. We drop this podcast at 1:30 in the afternoon. Normally, it varies. I assumed you were gone.
I had 5
Did we scare you away with the Vegas flooding thing?
No, I had 5 choices, and I narrowed it down to 3. And all weekend, I've been bandying about whether I'm going to fly somewhere or drive somewhere.
Well, it's kind of late to get a ticket now. It'll cost you a
you
fortune.
Buy a ticket anytime.
All right. Well, what are your choices?
I've checked it out. You can wait till the last second and get. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are really good to fly.
What are your choices?
I can go to Boston because I need to research my book, and I need to go there at some point. And plus, there's lots of. I've never been to Cape Cod. I've never been to Nantucket. I would love to go take the ferry over there and enjoy a nice day or something. Maybe see Nathaniel Philbrick. Or look him up.
You could actually look him up.
But I've never been to Cape Cod, and there's some place, and I do need to go to the Boston Public Library and do a lot of research. Or I can drive it to Cincinnati and drive down the Ohio and Mississippi rivers down to New Orleans because I need to do research for the book. That way.
What the hell book are you writing there, sir? History of America by Pete's Travels?
It's a riverboat thing.
My God, man.
It's not a riverboat thing. It's about an interesting character from Boston who did some crazy stuff. But anyway. Or I could just go to a damn resort down in Florida or the Caribbean. But I was going to go to Atlantis over in Bahamas. But they're still acting like it's 2020.
Oh, really?
Basically,
with the masks and all that
they've
crap.
lessened it, but they're still doing it. Whereas, St. Thomas, St. John's, the Virgin Islands, they're pretty much wide open.
What about the ones where you go? We used to go to, aren't there resorts at Cancun or Acapulco or something? You get to Cancun's an hour and a half away by plane. I mean, there's got to be.
They had
what are the resorts where the girls are walking around waiting for you to pick them up?
I'm not going to Mexico. There was a cruise from New Orleans to Cozumel, 4 nights, $100-something.
Holy
I know. And I was thinking,
bring a dinner jacket, and all the women will have sex with you. My brother, I've never been on a cruise. I have no interest in going on a cruise. I will never go on a cruise.
They're actually fun. Well, if you're a drinker. If you're a drinker,
well, my older brother at the time,
it's fun.
Before he quit, and he was a gambler. In fact, that's how he lost all his money, and I had to bail him out. But anyway, not my only brother. Anyway, hello, Tina, if you're listening. My other brother's girlfriend. And he used to go on cruises back when he was a drinker and a gambler, and he'd go on cruises, and he'd bring a dinner jacket or a couple dinner jackets, and he's a good day. He was an athlete. He was a would dance with all the chicks, and I mean, they were just swarming all over him because he was like the gad or about town or whatever, and so get yourself all dressed up, walk around like you're a Hollywood producer or something.
Come back with an STD. Yeah,
you get all those school teachers, 3 or 4 school teachers together from Ohio and going on a cruise to Cozumel and go scuba diving or snorkeling or something. Yeah, I did that once when we used to go to Mexico a lot, and we went to Cozumel to do some snorkeling. I think, in fact, I might have been where I had my picture of me holding up a big shark. Did you ever see that? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Hey,
anyway. Well, I think you would have fun. Now, if you go to, let me say this: if you go to the Boston area, my brother used to be the golf pro at Cohasset Country Club. Mm-hmm. Cohasset is South Shore, Boston. Yeah. to get to the Cape, it's a long freaking drive. I mean, it's going to be a 2 or 3 hour drive from Boston to the edge of the. I mean, it's a long way down there. But again, it's it's the Cape and it's historic and and I would hate to live there, but if you haven't been able to take a trip through that part of New England just for the history of it, to see the old North Church, my God.
It's gorgeous.
The
just
cemeteries.
Around
Look at the names and the dates on the cemeteries. I mean, it really is, it gave me, the first time I did it, I've only done it once or twice, I think, in my life, but a real sense of awesome history. I mean, I really felt the sense of history. I'm walking on the steps that, the famous silversmith used to walk. You know, I mean, my God.
The same thing. I've also thought about going to D.C. and going down. I went to Mount Vernon when I was a kid, but I don't remember much.
Yeah.
Jamestown. I'd love to go to Jamestown, and I've never been to Yorktown, and just
Never
actually
been
watch
there,
and
or-
see where it went.
Yeah, never been
How
either
it
of those
happened.
two. I've been to the Jefferson House, Monticello.
I've never been there. Never been there.
In fact, that's a pretty cool tour because they show you the clock he made and some of his inventions, and so it was pretty interesting. Of course, that was 50 years ago or whatever.
They went woke, though.
Anyway.
So, I discovered some of the weekend, though. I always thought Costa Rica was way to the west and south. Costa Rica is directly below us. You go straight south and you hit Costa Rica.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, my final wife and I went there too on a sponsored trip. The guy was sponsoring trips to Costa Rica, and he gave us a trip down there, and I had her bring her girlfriend so I could go play golf. So that was pretty fun. But it was beautiful. But again, it takes you forever to get over the mountains to the resorts and stuff. And anyway,
Over the hill and through the dale.
yeah, of course that's back when I was, working. No.
You haven't been a help at all.
I'm no good. I'm just not. Well, frankly, I think you'd probably have a lot of fun on the Boston. I don't know how much fun you'd have driving down the Ohio, Cincinnati.
I have to do it at some point, so I might as well do it when I get a chance. But I thought I could get to Cincinnati and go see a Reds game tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
Tomorrow night, and they have a business band special. I could do that Wednesday during the day. I've never been to a Reds game. That would be cool.
Yeah. Plus, this should be a driving trip, right?
I would drive to Cincinnati.
Yeah, see, I'd do that. I'd do that just so I could drive.
Yeah.
Although, what I'm trying to think. Anyway, of course, that's going in the shop, so we got some stuff. All right. Well, I hope you don't blow it. I mean, do something.
I'm going to do something. I just don't know what.
Yeah. Now, I was going to, it's too bad you don't have, I'm kind of surprised you're are you dating or looking for dating
No,
things?
there's nobody to go
kind
with.
of stuff?
I thought about calling my brother. But I don't know what he's up to this week. It'd be last minute. So hell, I thought about surprising him.
He'd
fly to
probably
Denver and rent a car and just go up in the mountains and knock on his door.
Probably love that.
He probably wouldn't like that. So.
By the way, before I forget, as you know, we are affiliated with the Extra Radio Extra 106.3, and you can get the app for free. Go to thekimmershow.net. And you can link up with us. It tells you how to get onto YouTube and watch us on YouTube on a podcast. And you can get an address. I've just sent out 3 thank you notes this morning, in fact, of people who gave us a nice donation for our show. Did you get any feedback on the guy I wanted to talk about him last Friday, and you jumped all over me because he said you're telling my list you used to listen to the radio. Oh, now they know who it is. Oh yeah, that's how they know.
He said he laughed his ass off.
I'll bet he did.
He laughed his ass off. And they're really the only. And we did a big deal about mentioning the band. You said you didn't have to mention the band.
He said I want you to mention the band. he said if you can do me one favor, please mention. Oh my God. Okay, I'm not good. From now on, you do it all. I don't know. I guess.
But he wasn't mad. That was good.
Anyway, I was going to say before I forget, we are linked with Flounder works at 106.3. And he does works on the morning show and stuff like that. And the other day, Flounder, I got a message from Tiffany at 106.3, and she says, "I hear you want a cat." And she sent me a picture of some kittens. It looks like it looks like somebody had a litter, so she's trying to get rid of some cat. And I said, I'd take a bunch of them if I could. I mean, I can't do that. But
I think Mike Aran and his wife are going to take one. She asked me, but I think I'm already going to be taking one in a couple weeks from somebody else. So
you should get 2. No, really. Have you ever had 2 cats? I mean,
I've never had no.
Well, I mean, 2 if they got along, obviously. If they fight with
chase
each other.
Well,
Well, I mean,
if you put a Christmas tree up, it'll be gone.
Well, anyway, I'm not trying to talk to you.
I'll start with one.
Yeah.
I still haven't even committed to this one, but almost maybe 70% I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
There you go.
Both of you need a cat.
Well, I'm not. I don't know. I can't. I got more than I can handle right now. Let's see. A couple things. As you know, I'm a typical guy in that when I go to the store to buy something, I go to the store and I buy it. Okay.
Yes.
I don't. If I'm looking for Tide, or clothes washing stuff, I buy Tide because my mother used Tide, so I go buy Tide. I don't look at the price. I don't compare it with Cheer or All, or I don't even know what the other names are. I have no idea. If I need Tide, I buy it. So I never look at prices. You could ask me how much is a quart of milk. I don't know. How much is I buy by the half gallon? I have no idea.
You need it,
Okay. All of a sudden, I'm noticing. I went to buy coffee the other day. I said, "Whoa, wait. Isn't this like $5 more than it used to be for a bag of coffee?" I mean, all of a sudden, and I'm noticing that there are still a lot of scarcities on the shelf. It's hit and miss. I mean, it's not like Russia, but still.
Is this Russia?
I was hearing all the news people talk all weekend long. And the fact of the matter is, when they said you don't have to work anymore, we'll send you money to sit home with our billions and trillions of dollars of a $5 trillion plan. When you pour a bunch of money into the economy and goods and services are scarce, you get inflation, which is exactly what we're getting. And and I don't know anything about the economy. I'm certainly hardly studied economics in college or anywhere else, but I know that and the prices are going up.
It's never not happened if you do what they're doing, and they're doing it even more.
Yeah. And in fact, in a minute, and again, this is a podcast, so we'll do some newsy stuff. We're going to talk about Donald Trump. We're going to talk about, I want to mention Paul Krugman again. I talk about what these Democrats are doing. Pete's going to tell us about some Biden propaganda. Did you hear one of the liberals over the weekend claim that the mole who got Donald Trump in trouble was Jared Kushner, his son-in-law?
Really?
That's what they're trying to pass that now. Kyle Rittenhouse back in the news. So is the Rosary, you murdering Catholics. The Forest Defenders are back in the news, and a billion other things, including some historical stuff. And the twisted special child cakes that Pete's going to tell us about. But first, a reminder.
Wait, first, Blaine says, I hope they're not fighting today.
Mommy, Daddy. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Wise RV Glass is one of our sponsors of not only the Kimmer Show podcast, but also the Kimmer Show podcast Facebook page, for which we are very grateful. Wise W-I-S-E, Wise RV Glass. Again, what a great idea this is. If you have an RV, a motor coach, camper, stuff like that, and you have any kind of a glass issue, windshield, maybe even that hard to find one-piece flat windshield on some of these RV motor coach things, if it has a crack in it or a spider web or fogged up double pane windows, even a side view mirror, and you're thinking, I'm going to take care of a little job like that. No, that's what they do for a living. And the good news is they come to you. Wise RV Glass is an all-mobile service. They put it right in your window frame, saving you time and money. Give them a call, bing, bang, pow. No job too small. They love doing this. Don't worry about it. They'll get there and they'll take care of business. Or no job too big. If you have a fleet of vehicles that got, sandstorm damage or something to windshields, they'll take care of that too. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. Say hi to Carl, the dad who retired, but son Russell's running the place for all of us to be better about it. Here's a phone number, Wise RV Glass, 470-345-8521. Oh, did I say 8? I mean 6. Here's the area code.
Start again.
470-345-6521. And on the web, wiservglass.com. Yeah, boy, I think I'll just get out these old bifocals here. By the way, do they even still make bifocals? Do you even know what those are?
Yeah.
I guess they probably do. I don't know. Not that I actually, my eyes are getting a little, I had 2400 vision as a kid. Kept me out of being a pilot.
Means.
That means you can, it means what you can see at 400 feet, I can't see past 20 feet.
Oh, okay.
A good vision guy can see 400 feet. I can only see the same thing at 20. 2300 means you can. That's not good. It means I'm blind. I can see the E on the eye chart, and it was a little blurry. I had terrible vision with these beautiful blues. Anyway, so I had a radial keratotomy, and I went to 2010. Then I had a touch-up 8 or 10 years later, and went back to 2020, 2010, 2020. And I've had cataract surgery, and that helped out a lot. But that's been a few years ago. Now, just because of my age, I'm starting to get a little bit fuzzy around the edges of my vision. So occasionally I'm get back to using the
And
reading
Hesh
glasses
isn't
again.
using hers. So.
Well, no, that's right. She could probably be. And they officially pulled the plug yesterday. It was I guess last night. Peacefully, they said uncoupled or whatever.
It's sad.
It's a shame. It's a terrible shame, and especially because she was talented. You'd think she'd had everything to live for if people loved you and loved what you did, and
I think
you were
she
a
was
star.
touched from
she
the
was
beginning.
not. She was great.
Yeah.
She was mentally ill. I mean, clearly mentally ill.
Drugs didn't help.
So anyway, I feel bad for her. And again, let's see. A quick nitpick. I know I can't say anything and can't do anything about it. Why is it on Sundays, whenever I'm trying to go to the stable at an unusual time in the daytime on a Sunday, and I go those back roads where it's a 2-lane highway, double yellow line, no passing, speed limit's 45 miles an hour, and you get a string of bicycle riders lasting about 300 yards going 6. Do you know how hard it is on those back roads to try to pass a whole line? I mean, the only good news for me, I don't honk my horn, I don't yell at them, I'm polite, but when I get the chance, I nail it. And how many times do you really get to nail it and really go as fast as you can? So, that's the only glory out of it. But again, go into smaller groups or something. Is that really polite? To take over, 300 yards on a road where nobody can pass you?
Last Friday, I was driving down Roberts Drive. It's a perfectly good sidewalk on the left when you're coming in here.
Yeah,
There's not a sidewalk on the right.
No, there's no sidewalk.
So we have this guy. He's about in his 50s or something. He's walking down the side of the road. And he's like 3 feet into the road. Everybody's having to swerve to go around him. And he's flapping his hands like he's a penguin.
Yeah. He's telling you to go around me.
Yeah.
Is he walking with his back to you? That's even worse.
No, he's walking right at us.
Even worse is when they don't see. They're walking on the wrong side of the road, going with you, so they can't see you coming.
No, he was looking right. He was watching people have to dodge him. And it's perfectly good sidewalk right there.
Yeah. I've actually stopped. I went to my neighborhood. There was a school class. There was a school not too far. It's in Brookhaven. And there was a school in the neighborhood, and one day I was going to someplace in the neighborhood, and the girl, the classroom, the teacher, had about 20 kids, and they were walking down the wrong side of the road with traffic. And I actually stopped. I stopped my car, and I said, "Ma'am," I said, you're on the wrong side of the road. You really need to be over there so the traffic can see you coming."
Oh, no, you can see them coming.
Well, both.
Yeah.
Anyway, looked at me like I had 3 heads. Well,
I learned when I was a kid, my father's best friend got hit by a car because he was on the wrong side of the road when he was jogging in Memphis. And I remember how it shook my dad up, and I'm thinking, well, that's a lesson learned. I'm never doing that.
I almost hit a guy that I remember talking about on the radio about a year or so ago. It was at dusk, and it was a woman jogging on the right-hand side of the road, jogging the same direction as I was going, traffic, wearing dark clothing in the woods. Honestly, I almost hit her. I never saw her until I got right on her, and I swerved over. Thank God there wasn't a car coming. I'd have been in a wreck. Anyway, just a word to the wise. Please just be polite, for God's sake. Just consideration. Really, how hard is it? It's like using your blinker. If you're going to be taking a right and there's somebody waiting to turn left in front of you, use your blinker so he can go out. Anyway, God. You see what I mean? I don't want to be a grumpy old man, but things are really...
They're forcing us to be.
They're forcing us. It's the breakdown in the American culture.
I said it on my show this morning.
And politeness.
I love my country. I hate the culture. I hate what this culture is, what TV and Hollywood and Madison Avenue have done to us. What the gangster rap crap and just shoving stuff down our throat. I hate it.
It's going the wrong way. Really going the wrong way. And I think it's my generation's handoff did a really bad job.
Yeah, we did a bad job raising kids. I didn't raise any kids, but we did as a society, we did a bad job as baby boomers raising kids.
Well, as a group, as a group, we absolutely
our
did.
village sucked.
Yeah, right, village my ass. A quick mention here. Again, we're going to be off for several days here. We'll be back next week for a full time, but not quite full. We'll be back next week some way. Anyway, we're on vacation. It's vacation. We have to. We're on a break. It's August. We have to go on thing. Just for a quick reminder, therefore, I've been trying to take enough horse videos when I do go to the stable For example, I'm not going today, but I have some I took yesterday, which I didn't feed yet. So I will be trying to feed some horse videos for you who love the horse videos on the podcast page, just for the record. However, and that reminds me, but again, I'm not going every day. I'm going 5 days a week usually, and that's a lot to try to figure out. But and I got a feed today from a guy named Dave, who looked at the horse video. Dave's not here. And he said, just know, horses, you cage them and then make them do what you want? No. I said, whoa, wait a minute. If you're going to be negative, I don't want, I didn't block him, but I wrote back and I said, no naysayers, no negative people. These are loving animals. And I said, just don't watch. But don't pull out your venomous crap on and this is my personal page. I said, don't be pulling that crap on my Facebook page, because my horse videos have nothing to do with politics or negative stuff. It's all loving, happy, jovial, me doing baby talk with big animals. I mean, I'm acting like a 5-year-old who's seen his first pet. I mean, and I don't care, and it doesn't embarrass me, and I'm not changing.
You're the Mr. Rogers of horses.
I'm a goofy, silly, ridiculous, jokester, happy person when I'm with those. Okay, sorry. So don't be doing negative stuff on me. Let's see. Oh, God. Okay. Is it just me, or are these Camp Lejeune ad videos everywhere?
Oh, I'm watching Resident Alien. It's every other commercial. Every other commercial on Sci-Fi.
I can't open my phone without popping up 7 or 8, every 2 minutes.
Were you there?
Every TV show. Yes, I was. Here's the thing, I wish I could get somebody who's either gone through it or done it, or a lawyer who's actually in it to give me the real true advice. Here's the problem. First of all, I don't trust anybody with anything, okay? I was at Camp Lejeune for infantry training in 1966. So I had prostate cancer and so other things and, medical stuff. So I by definition of what they're saying, I theoretically qualify for some sort of a payment. Yeah. Okay. Well, the first time I clicked on one of the little things, did your dad, you're always in the Army. I said some Marines. I'm sorry. I'm like an idiot.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say you should proceed with this.
Well, okay, but I clicked on one of them, and it said, there was some teeny little fine print, and it said, law firm may not necessarily be affiliated with the federal government for the syndrome, and once you sign up, you have to fill out these forms. I mean, it was just like it was like they're trying to get me into one of these things, and I don't know if I really trust it or not.
Go talk to a lawyer.
Well, our listeners, if anybody knows, let us.
That's why I bring it up.
Contact him or contact me, and I'll send it to him.
Now, the other thing was, there was a shot on one of these messages that had popped up, showed a guy holding a check. And it said, you could be due money if you were at Camp Lejeune, which I was, and it helped. And I blew up the size of the check. It was for $50,000. Now, I don't believe for a minute that the government's going to give me $50,000 because Camp Lejeune water gave me cancer. You know what I mean?
It's not the Army. The Army's the one who's going to owe you the money.
The Marines.
The Marines are going to owe you the money.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Again, you need to talk again, like we've said. If there's any listeners that are lawyers, send us an email. Go to thekimmershow.net, and there's an email link, and email us and give us some info.
Or someone who's done it and has not been burned. Again, I'm afraid I'm afraid if I sign up for this thing that all of a sudden I'm in this whole new thing, and I don't know. I mean, I assume it's legit because it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah. How could the government do that? How could the government do that to you? That's what kills me. They don't care about the military.
They don't give a crap about the military. Have you ever seen all
the bullshit about sign up and fight for your country and blah, 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 and then after they get you, they don't care about you.
And then the housing they give you to live in with a family?
I saw it with my
your wife was,
my wife was in, my aunt and uncle were in it. I saw it.
I mean,
of course, he was in Air Force. They lived pretty well.
Air Force takes pretty good care. Yeah. Air Force, I think it goes. Air Force is the number one to really be just a good place to go. It's like a business, I mean, they have their assassin killer teams and stuff. But basically, you go in the Air Force, you're not going to get beat up in boot camp, and you don't have to polish your shoes and say yes sir and shit like that. I mean, it's going to be. You're going to do some calisthenics. You're going to run. You're going to do push-ups. But you got to do 8 or 9 of these babies. I once had to do 5,000 jumping jacks. Anyway, 5,000. Thank you. I had to do 500 burpees with a push-up.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Anyway, so it's Air Force number 1 for just being courteous and a really nice place to go. Then the Navy, they're not going to. Then the Army, and then of course the Marines. Wait on the thing not here. But anyway, they just treat you like crap, except the food. In the Marine Corps, man, when you go to the after you get out of boot camp. When you go to your duty station, when you go out to the breakfast chow line, you tell them what you want and they give it to you. You can say, I want 9 eggs over medium, 14 pieces of bacon, 12 pieces of toast, and you get it.
Yeah.
I mean, they feed you. The Marines know how to feed you.
All the water you can drink, too, obviously.
All the water you can drink. At boot camp, at Parasana, I was not even allowed to drink milk.
I know.
I had to drink water only. Anyway, oh God, where was this at? Oh, so if someone knows if someone's been through this or it's legit or and again, I can't imagine why they would. Well, anyway, how can they make a link? Because I was there. I may not have been there long enough. I was only there for infantry training, which is a matter of weeks, not years or something. But again, well, if someone can give me some advice, I'd really
just stick a knife in the U.S. government. Just get back at it if it's even a couple $100.
Yeah,
I
know. But anyway, I'm nervous about it. Okay, now for the record, we got a lot of stuff to talk about with Donald Trump. I want to talk about the Marine and the GOP now supposedly doing an investigation into the Afghan pullout a year afterwards or whatever. Yeah, like they're going to really get to the bottom of anything. And a whole bunch of other things. Let's do a Holy Crap at Sports. You've already done it, I think, today. I saw it on my phone.
Because I thought this afternoon I'd be jetting off somewhere.
On a jet plane. And do you have a highlight of what you keynoted or anything? Or just general Braves updates? And
So I talked about the Falcons game, which they won, which was exciting.
I watched a part of it. And I guess they're pretty high on this. What's his name?
Ritter. He threw an interception, and he threw one that they dropped, which would have ended the game. You know, so he's a rookie.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, he
looked good.
He's fun, and Mariota looked good. It wasn't Matt Ryan. We're going to march all the way down the field, a 9-minute drive. The first time we have the ball, we're going to get inside the 20, and by God, we're going to kick that field goal.
Right.
Well, no, Mariota, screw that. He took the ball and ran around in and gave up his body, and they scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was good to see. That's what I've been waiting to see for 15 years.
In fact, the feedback that I read was that he showed some balls, and it looked like he was a tough guy who wants to get this team going and be a
He knows this is his last chance.
Yeah, this is it.
He's not going to be a starter if this fails.
Right.
And he's got this hot kid behind him.
Yeah. And that kid, he's going to be good. I think he's going to be all right. Anyway, we'll see. The Cleveland game. Now, do you want to play that soundbite or not? It's pretty crude.
What are you talking about?
The Cleveland Browns game with Deshaun Watson.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay. Well, Deshaun.
When it says Deshaun Watson, I usually just tune it out.
Right.
Now.
Well, I didn't watch it. I mean, in fact, I watched some highlights over the weekend on ESPN, but I did not tune into that game. I don't even know if it was there. I guess it probably was. But I watch on weekends. I watch SportsCenter for the top 10 highlights, and I usually rewind it for the whole hour and then fast forward to see highlights, stuff like that. So, and one of them was the Cleveland Browns game, and I didn't see this on the weekend, but I saw it on social media this morning when I'm going and getting stuff ready. And I saw it last night getting ready for the podcast. We're at the Cleveland Browns game in the end zone when Deshaun Watson was near the end zone going in the direction. The crowd had a certain 3-word chant.
Is this in Cleveland?
Wherever the game was. I don't remember where the game was, but
maybe it's Jacksonville.
Oh, Jacksonville. Now
it looks like it's blue. It looks like Jacksonville.
Now it's bad. It's got a bad word in it.
Oh.
So we can play it, and we can edit it in case we put it on the weekend podcast section.
I'll just let it go as it
is. You jolly joker. Anyway, here's what happens when Deshaun Watson got near the end zone. Here's what the fans started to chant.
Wait, they're saying you.
Why are they calling him a duck? You sick duck.
You sick duck.
You sick duck. What do they got against ducks? He didn't go to Oregon or Oregon State or whichever one is the Ducks.
He went to Clemson.
He went to Clemson. I don't remember he went. But again, the crowd was shouting that out.
I wouldn't have put it past Cleveland to do it.
Yeah.
It's the only place in 5 years that actually threw things at me. But
oh well, that's not good.
Still,
but I still don't. How is he going to? I guess it's still not over. I mean, he's been suspended 6 games, but he's appealing, and the NFL commissioner can make a decision to suspend him for the whole year, as I understand it. The commissioner can do anything he wants.
No, I don't think so. I think if they go to an arbitrator and she says this and they go against the arbitrator?
Well, all I know is I don't know how he's going to play. I can't imagine.
He should sit out most of the year, but he's not.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't really care one way or the other, but I thought that was pretty disgusting. And other sports things of
well, the Braves Mets they swept the Marlins. And they waited to the 9th inning and then just went ballistic yesterday. And now they got the Mets in for 4. And if they get they lose 3 out of 4, it's probably over.
And I love the story of our 3 baby Braves.
Oh, don't call them that.
That's what they.
The last 3.
That's what
Braves,
they started.
One of them was Frank Kerr, and he turned out to be a bust. And
well, but still, I mean,
Andrew Jones wasn't a baby. It was McCann and Frank Kerr and a few other guys. Maybe Kelly.
Was
Johnson.
it McClure? Frenchie?
McCann and Frenchie, and maybe Kelly Johnson was part of that. And maybe one other.
Well, anyway, we got 3 21-year-old kids who are tearing up, the baseball. I just think it's great. I love that Grissom guy, and of course, they're just.
Is Grissom the one that they were interviewing him and he kept on saying meow?
Meow?
Yeah, I think his handle name is Mickey Mouse or Mickey or something like that. And during the interview, he said meow like 10 or 11 times. Like
one of the Braves?
Yeah, they would be. He'd be like, and I hit the ball and I did really well. Meow.
Le Batard used to do something where he talked to one of these athletes and say, try and work in meow or try and work in something. So that's probably what he's a little young to be doing
that. That's the thing. He must have done it like 10 times and it was hilarious. He's like, and I tried to hit the ball.
They made him do it. They probably said, this is what you got to do.
That's got to be a rookie thing.
Thing.
You got to carry my bags and say meow on your first interview.
Well, did you see after his first game, they're interviewing, and of course all the microphones are in his face.
Yeah.
Tyler Matzik walks up, I think it was Matzik, and has a half-eaten ice cream cone, right? And he shoves it in his face like he's interviewing him, and the kid didn't miss a beat. He leaned down and licked it.
Licking it. Well, I would. Take the whole thing.
Now, if I'm Michael Harris, and I've been batting 9th all this time, and this kid comes up, and in 3 games he's batting 2nd, I'm going, hold on a second.
Michael Harris was doing great. Well, he should be
lead off. No, he should be lead off. If Ronald can't play, he should be the lead off guy. Yeah. And they got Rosario batting 6th, and they got Ozuna batting 7th, and they had a good weekend. But come on, they're clogging up the base pass. They're not hitting. Yeah. Put them at the end.
Yeah, do something.
I want those guys at the end.
Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty exciting. But I love the fact they're all 21 years old. Can you imagine? Being 21 years old and being on the World Championship.
But when Ozzy comes back, what's going to happen? It's Grissom. He better keep being hot, or else he's back. He's probably going to send him to Gwinnett, not Mississippi,
at least for
where he was.
I assume, yeah. Well, I don't know. Anyway, I'm pretty excited for him, and I'm hoping this is.
And he may be the reason that Dansby's not re-signed if he keeps playing well.
You know what?
But that's a chance to take a kid
comes out.
And throw him up.
How can you?
He's too good of an infield player, I think. They're afraid
it's going to cost too much money.
They can't pay everybody, and they paid Austin, and they got breaks on Albies, and they got a break on Acuna.
Yeah, first baseman.
But they got Freed. They got to sign. You got to sign your left-handed ace.
So they hope to have a kid at AAA ready to come up or something,
that's
or
Vaughn.
trade for.
That's Vaughn Grissom. He's their number 1 prospect.
I thought he was second base.
He's a shortstop. He's playing second because Ozzy's hurt.
Oh, well then.
I mean, he was in Double-A, right? He skipped Double-A.
He's barely in Double-A.
And then he skipped Triple-A and went straight to the
what Michael Harris did. Yeah, so we're not sure. This could be just remember Frank Kerr when he came up? He was hot as hell for the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Or the first year.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I hope. God. Well, it's a nice problem to have.
I just texted you guys the meow. It's hard to hear, so I don't want to play it because he literally talks, and then he'll just be like, "Yeah, I thought I did good, meow."
Okay, yeah. But again, that's got to be a rookie hazing thing, I guess they still do that.
They don't do it as much, but at the end of the year, their final road trip, they make them dress up as something.
Yeah. Make them dress up in a woman's dress,
like
or
a Mickey Mouse,
a pirate,
or a baby with
Goofy
diapers,
or Donald Duck. So diapers and
walk through the airport.
Oh, brother. Well, that's cool. I mean, you gotta love it, and it certainly would be worth it. Let's see. Coming up, it's Monday night. This is a huge night on TV.
We're not going to be here to talk.
We're going to save it because when we come back next week, we're definitely going to be talking about this. Also, the latest on Donald Trump and no more school. Did they have free school lunch when you were in elementary school?
Free. There were programs.
Wasn't there a cafeteria?
But I don't think it was free. There was a program, and then and the kids felt bad, And I remember there'd be a lot of times you go there and you forget your money and you'd borrow it from somebody else. It'd be no big deal, but you couldn't do it every day.
Well, there's a whole new change. Everything's different now.
Is it free?
Yeah. Well, not anymore. No free lunch. Not anymore.
Okay.
And this could lead to embarrassments. And
I have no problem if they give kids a free breakfast or lunch. I have no problem.
Right,
if the government's going to pay for something, let that be one of the things.
You've got them in the building. What are they supposed to do?
It may be the only nutritious meal they get that day.
Right. I don't have a problem with that kind of socialism where we're feeding the masses.
That's a net. That's a safety net.
I think that's a legitimate safety net issue. The government being responsible for safety and security, militarily of the roads and the children. I don't have a problem with that. Speaking of safety and security, Dead Crow Defense. Dead Crow is killing the competition with the best ammo prices since before the pandemic. All common calibers are in stock, ready to ship, with hundreds of other calibers available for custom orders. I can't emphasize this enough. If you're looking for something you can't find, they'll get it for you at Dead Crow Defense. All the common calibers are in stock, great prices since before the pandemic, the China kill virus started. And again, Dead Crow Defense is not a gun store. They are your arms dealer, working directly with you to get you the items you're looking for, what you need in this ever-changing world of danger and suspicion, mystery, bringing old-fashioned customer service back to America's most cherished industry. Find them online at deadcrowdefense.com. And don't forget, in-stock items ship the next day. If you're in a pinch, give them a call. Here's a phone number, area 678-576-9117. Or shoot them an email, sales@deadcrowdefense.com. Notice how that links in together there. Deadcrowdefense.com to have your personal arms dealer reach out directly to you to discuss what you want, and they'll get it for you. Online, use the promo code Kimmer when you check out for 10% off your first several orders at deadcrowdefense.com. Dead Crow Defense is your arms dealer. Ha ha ha! Thank you. Oh, no, we're back. We're back. Oh, my God, we're back. Okay, now, we'll talk Trump stuff, but first, it's Monday night, and, that's not what I got. In fact, here, I would do this. Just for kicks, I looked over the Babylon Bee just before I actually left to come here for the podcast today. Here's a few of the Babylon Bee's funny headlines that may be worth you looking up the article and actually reading it. And the first one is including a picture of what they're about to describe here when the Attorney General was at the podium the other day. Here's the headline, Babylon Bee. The FBI raid on Melania's closet was justified, says Merrick Garland, wearing gorgeous new evening gown and sun hat. Here's a picture of him in his beautiful purple dress. Some of the other, just the headlines of some stories of the Babylon Bee. Opinion. Concerns about FBI raids have been overblown, and there's no need to worry. Oh, hang on, there's a knock at the door. Harvard Med School officially replaces oath, do no harm, with mutilate kids for money. Mar-a-Lago search warrant claims Trump had acquired all 6 Infinity Stones. I don't know what that is.
That's the Avengers. The Thanos.
The Avengers.
The evil Thanos.
That's why they raided the Mar-a-Lago. He got all 6 Infinity Stones. Jeffrey Toobin departing CNN to expose himself to new audiences. AOC, Ocasio Bang Bangio Stupidio, says it's dumb for Republicans to call USA a banana republic since it's more like a Forever 21. And theologians confirm chips and salsa were blessed in eternity and may be eaten before you pray. So that's kind of a special.
The Onion had some good ones too. The Onion said that we're waiting for the FBI to come back and get the nuclear code satchel out of the lost and found bin. And FBI has been sent an itemized bill for their 12-hour stay at Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
Well, did you see how Trump, he told them that he wanted his documents back? Yeah, but the funniest thing about that is at the very end he says, I want my documents back, please.
Right. And he's trying to get everybody to calm down. Anyway, we'll get that's coming up here in just a second. First, Monday night, as we speak, is the 15th of August, and it's the last episode of Better Call Saul.
Well, I'm going to record it, and maybe I'll watch it between the time we get back.
Well, you've got to watch it.
Don't say anything.
My God, man.
I'm going to actually watch it live because some idiot
at
can't 10:01 is going to say what happened.
If you open your phone at 10:01, 10:03 or whatever it's going to be, you'll find out. Now, there was Bob Odenkirk is talking, but not about, obviously, the final episode. But here, I thought this was fairly interesting. Bob Odenkirk says the Better Call Saul cast will watch the series finale together. Odenkirk won a Critics' Choice Award over the weekend, drama series, so on and so forth. It was in Beverly Hills, and Odenkirk, who plays Saul Goodman, said, we're going to get together as a cast at somebody's house and watch the episode, and then we're going to cry, the actor says, of how the ensemble will celebrate the end of the Breaking Bad spinoff on Monday. Odenkirk tells people the relationships with his fellow cast members are what has made the whole series experience so special. And again, I'm not going to give away anything, but he says, quote, Rhea Seehorn, Michael McKean, Patrick Fabian, Michael Mando. By the way, I don't know who those are. I don't know their faces with the character.
It's probably...
McKean's got to be the blonde guy who played Howard, right?
No, McKean was his brother.
Oh, that's right. Michael McKean from the famous Spinal Tap movie. Yeah. That's right. So who's Patrick Fabian?
That may be Howard. I don't.
And Michael Mando. I think he was the guy that the Spanish guy that the girls liked.
Yes.
This core group of actors are best friends. Odenkirk, 59, says we're going to miss each other awfully. The actor also notes the unbelievable joy he experienced working with TV icon Carol Burnett, who joined the series as a guest star for the final season. Quote, she's got chops in every direction, obviously, the actor gushes, and she's gotten to show them yet again on Better Call Saul with her drama. And she's so heartbreaking. She's beautiful and heartbreaking and true and deep and fun to be around. It was one of the heights of my career to be with her. And, of course, she's famous for kissing me, Kim Peterson, on the face and having the picture in a national
right there.
Syndicated.
You got that back to you.
Everybody saw. And then she wrote a letter to my mother when my mother asked her for a copy of the picture, and she wrote a handwritten letter to my mother, Carol Burnett, with Kim Peterson.
Seen it. You're right.
When I was in the Marines. Odenkirk says he isn't this has nothing to do with me. Anyway, Odenkirk says he isn't going to try to top the many career highs Better Call Saul has given him, saying you have to be careful. But he's got something else in mind, apparently. In show business, he says, you can't guarantee that. You can't guarantee you'll do better with the next thing than what you just did. Every project is an unsure endeavor, so I'm more into doing something interesting that feels right.
I hope it's not that vigilante thing he did last time that gave him a heart attack.
Yeah, he doesn't. Well, he said he joked about the quite serious setbacks the show experienced, saying, pandemic, brief interlude with death. It slowed us down a little. Of course, he was referring to his heart attack and recovery, which occurred last July during the production of the final season. Did you pick out where he had his heart attack and then they came back and did it? It was when he was on the couch at the scene when they killed Howard. And he was in his house, and the guy said, sit down, and he was sitting on the couch. And then they did some other scenery. And then when they came back to the scene on the couch, it was after he'd had his heart attack. And you could see there's a slight difference in his weight. And his, I think that's where the scene was with the scene right before they shot Howard, or maybe it was right afterwards. It was whatever the scene was. He's sitting in a chair on the couch.
It's amazing to me. I was watching an older one the other day, a Breaking Bad one. How much Mike has aged in the last 10 years?
Yeah,
the last 8 years.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah. Let's see. He was referring to his heart attack and recovery, which occurred. In his speech over the weekend, he revealed he was not going to do the show. He was not going to do this show. He said he was probably just intimidated, but his 2 children convinced him to do it by saying it would disappoint a lot of people if he didn't. He finally decided to take the role when his wife assured him his family could take care of things here at home. Accepting the award on behalf of the show, Odenkirk said the show celebrates fallible, complex human beings. One character, you're sure he's a bad guy, then years later you see him at a wine bar trying to connect with another human. It's heartbreaking. You've got a guy who's clearly a bad guy. Wait a second, he's the best guy in the whole damn thing. Pretty
and then I was flicking around this morning before I came here, and Malcolm in the Middle was on, and watching Bryan Cranston play this foppish, funny, dad.
He was the dentist on Seinfeld.
I know. Unbelievable.
You're an anti-dentite.
Anti-casting. And there's actually a very cool, and I can't believe I just saw it last week.
He was LBJ on this Stand Up the One Man Show.
That wasn't very good, but there's a video that shows Cranston and what's the actor's name that played the kid? That played the teenager, the little druggie. Somebody Paul. Yeah, Eric Paul.
Aaron
anyway,
Paul.
It shows them. They went over to one of their houses, and they're sitting and laying on couches. They're reading the script for the final show of Breaking Bad. They didn't know what was happening, and they videoed them doing it, and they're drinking beer, and they're loud joking and everything. So they got kind of at the end, all of a sudden they got real serious, and they're reading it aloud to each other, the dialogue and everything, and what went on. And they get to the end, and they both just kind of sit there, dazed. And he goes, "What do you think?" And the kid goes, "It's perfect. It's perfect."
Man, was this on social media or something?
Yeah, you can look it up.
It's probably on YouTube.
Kidding. I missed it.
It's probably on YouTube.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Wow.
It's funny.
I can't wait. I mean, I'm really, and I really am not. I don't remember getting really excited about the end of The Sopranos. I guess I probably was, but I'm really excited about what's going to be the ending of this one, and whether I got it wrong like I did with The Sopranos.
Remember, he was the dentist, and he was the guy he converted to Judaism because of the jokes.
Yeah, right.
I'll take a stick of fluoride.
Shtickle, yeah.
Did you ever see the video of the table read of the last show, Game of Thrones?
No.
None of them knew that he was going to kill her.
Really? Wow.
And they're all they're crying. The whole table is crying, and she and him. He couldn't read it. When they get to the point where he's stabbing her, and he's like, and he's looking around at, oh my God, and he says, "I'm sorry, I'm going to kill you." And it's like, it just freaked him out.
Oh man, sweet.
If I'm a writer, man, I would love to be in there just watching their faces. You've been doing this show for 7 years, and I'm going to kill your character off.
Well, I can't. And again, your guess is that he goes to prison and becomes a prison lawyer.
I hope.
Yeah, Flounder, you have a guess on the final episode?
I'll have to watch all the seasons to find out.
Oh, hell, that's right. No. I keep forgetting. You haven't seen any of it.
I just found the Breaking Bad final scene, so I'll text that to you so you can watch it.
Oh, good. Okay, fine. Do it right now. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I don't know. At first, I thought he was going to die. But I don't think he's going to die at all, and
he may, because I don't think he wants to do the character anymore, and there'll be talk about, well, let's do another sequel, and he doesn't want to be part of that. It's enough's enough.
Yeah, I really don't know. I can't. I don't know what. In fact, when you said the guy said it was a perfect ending, I don't know what a perfect ending is. I don't have in my head what I would like to see. I don't really care. I'm really excited about it to see what they done, but I don't have an ending in my head.
I was for him up until the last 2 shows, and now I wanted something bad to happen to him.
I still feel
I've lost all sympathy for him. To tell you the truth,
I still feel kind of.
The greed got to me, like when he had to go back and get that guy. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to go back in the house.
Yeah, that
he
was
didn't have to stay in that house.
That was mean-spirited right there.
Yeah, that was beyond the pale.
And the other, actually, I thought more of it that where did he get the balls all of a sudden? I mean, because
he's becoming Walter. Where did Walter get the balls?
Because remember, he's been a chicken shit the whole time. When they held him down, he said, "Please don't kill me now." He'd crying like a baby, and put him in the ground, and Mike would walk toward him and he'd cower. "Oh, I'll give you this. I'll give you that." I mean, he was a total freaking coward, this yellow belly his whole career until all of a sudden now he's got the balls of a burglar, of a second story man or something.
Well, I think he thought he could get away with anything.
I guess.
Because he'd gotten away with it. So remember what he says to What's-Her-Face on the phone. He goes, "Yeah, I'm still getting away with it."
I wonder if they're going to continue that theme of him being so ballsy. Of course, he ran away. The last episode, he ran.
He's on the run now.
He's on the run. But maybe they're going to do it that he's gotten so ballsy that he's now become a stick-up man at the 7-Eleven or something.
Here's your question. Here's your question. What does he do? Because he's got to go back to his house and get his survival package. He's got to do that. And he's got to do it quick.
And he's on foot.
So then what do you do? What would you do?
Well, he's on foot.
Well,
Remember, the guy cracked up the car.
Steal a car. You got to do something.
So you got to find a car somewhere fast because the cops are right. I mean, their cops are right there. He just ran from the girl's house.
Well, she's going to have to call the cops. The cops are going to have to listen to her and then figure out where he lives and then go to his house. She doesn't know where he lives.
God, what would you do? Try to steal a car, hotwire a car? Somebody, what does you know about hotwire a car? Or try to find one somewhere in a neighborhood? Again, he's in a neighborhood.
And she doesn't know his real name. She doesn't know where he lives.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true. But again, he's in somebody's neighborhood. So how many miles is he from civilization or a gas station or a car lot?
His partner in crime, the idiot, the taxi driver, is probably going to turn over to help the cops catch him.
Yeah, absolutely, to save himself. Anyway. Okay, sorry, maybe prolong the the thing there. But speaking, if he could only get a new whip,
that'd be good for the Saturday show.
There you go.
Talking,
discussions are all good. Hell, we can do the whole show with this show here today, and do some repeats and some of my old history stuff too, Flounder. Some of that history and music stuff that has music in it, and still those things are good. Anyway, if he got a new whip. He'd be in better shape than he is walking on foot out of the neighborhood. Maybe he should have swapped his whip. Golly, where would you go if you want to swap your whip? I don't know. How about swapmywhip.com? Wait a minute. Notice how I did that there? Swapmywhip.com. Oh, man, you clever fellows. Looking for a new ride? Maybe you're driving along and saying, you see a car. Oh, I've always liked that car. If you go to swapmywhip.com, you might find somebody with that car you've always wanted who wants to change cars with you or someone like you, and all of a sudden you're making your own deal without any dealership, no used car salesman, no middleman. You go on swapmywhip.com. See what you got, see what's out there, and make your own deal. I mean, and it's not just cars. Boat, jet ski, whatever. Swapmywhip.com. Don't forget, use the Kimmer code KIMMER, K-I-M-M-E-R, for the coupon code KIMMER for 180 days of free premium listings. Check it out. Swapmywhip.com for like-minded car swappers just like you. Might be the exact perfect thing. What's that?
Nothing.
Oh, okay, just doing conniving and scheming over there somehow.
We talk about Key West, and I say Key West isn't as fun if you're sober. It's just not.
Oh, you can't be sober. Yeah,
the
final wife and I
right
went
there.
there. You got to be on the beach, and you got to be drinking, and you got to be doing stuff where Jimmy Buffett hangs out.
Have you been to Arlington?
Cemetery?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When we were kids, we went and saw the Kennedy Eternal Flame, but we were real young. We were I was first grade when we went there, so I barely remember.
Call up one of your old girlfriends or something and just take a drive down to the Keys.
Did I have to pay it?
Well, no. Just take a drive down to the Keys. You stop at Longboat Key. You stock it all.
And you're sober. So what fun is it for me to go to Key West sober?
What have you stopped? I've done it before. You don't drink anymore?
No, I've been 10 years sober last October.
I didn't know you weren't even a social drinker. If you go to a party, you don't even have a beer.
I'll have a sip or something. I'll take a sip of whiskey to like it or something.
Yeah, because I remember at Brooksy's fair, like when he passed away, you got a beer, but it was more or less just to have a beer because everyone else was.
Yeah.
Well,
now do you have a problem with alcohol? Is that why you did that?
No, when you have two different doctors who don't know each other in different fields,
just like the kidney
tell
stone,
you
liver,
the same thing.
Gallbladder,
you better
thing.
listen to it. So one guy, I can kind of blow it off, and I did for a few years.
Yeah.
And then the second doctor goes, I'd cut down on that.
Just because your organ thing, not because you have a problem with it? Oh, well, that makes sense.
So,
well, I don't know. If I knew that, I forgot. I guess I didn't realize that you weren't even, have a couple of drinks
I was
dinner.
born with a heart murmur, and over the years, it gets to a point where it doesn't, and for some strange reason, my body doesn't like alcohol anymore. 35 years of professional drinking down the drain.
I was going to say.
I was so good at it.
My brother was a drinker. Our older brother, Gino, the golf pro. Oh, my God. And then he quit. He just quit cold, boom, bang. And
that's the way to do it. You just gotta stop. And when the second doctor said you need to stop, I stopped.
Yeah, you just plain stopped. Okay, they're saying some of the liberals are coming out with this business with a raid on Donald Trump's place and so forth. Now, some of the lefties are saying that the mole inside the Trump campaign or the Trump family was Jared Kushner. that he could be in big trouble because of his shenanigans dealing with Russians and banks and so forth, that he would make a deal to get him a break by turning in his father-in-law. Yeah,
that's the biggest load of horse shit I've probably ever heard. I bet Adam Shit-for-Brains came up with that one.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And again, they're getting away with it. They're talking about all the wonderful, successful achievements of the Biden administration so far, getting ready for the fall election. Anyway, Donald Trump is now doubling down and still trying to be a nice guy about it. He's saying we should tone down all the stuff about this business with the reaction to the raid, but he's doubling down on these idiot FBI Nazis who are so anti-American that they all should be fired. Everybody from the top down to middle management should be just cleaned out of there. Donald Trump on his social media site said, and this is how the press covers it. He intensified his bashing of the FBI on social media over the weekend with his own comments and those of QAnon followers, calling the Bureau a criminal enterprise, corrupt, seditious, and abusive. Trump in likely the ugliest public attack on federal law enforcers by any president or former president in American history. God, you believe these?
Who's writing this? Who's saying this?
This is the Huffington Post.
They're the only people still talking about QAnon.
Yeah, can you believe?
I haven't heard QAnon's name in a year.
I know. I mean, this is hysterical. Donald Trump called a long and underlying history of being corrupt. He said the search was a sneak attack on democracy. No kidding. Great simmering anger over the break-in. One message by Donald Trump was written on the We the Peep. They're not trying to say he's Pepe the Frog, who's a racist anti-Semite hate symbol by the Anti-Defamation League. Another Trump user reported he wrote WWG1WGA, which stands for Where We Go One, We Go All, which is the well-known QAnon slogan. I mean, they can't stop. This is freaking hysterical.
What do you expect from a news organization started by a Greek whore?
A Greek whore, yeah.
Who got her money by marrying a gay millionaire who, once he lost the bid for California governor and came out as gay, she divorced him and took his money and started Huffington Post.
Yeah. and I know.
And they have her up on all these interview shows and all these boards like she's some expert we should listen to. She was a Greek whore. Who,
she's the bimbo.
Yeah, she was a gold digger.
She's allegedly. A gold digger.
That's our opinion. Yeah, that's what she was.
In our opinion. But don't forget,
she's Walter Cronkite. They talked to her like she's Walter Cronkite.
Well, look at Peter Strzok, for God's sakes. The seditionist, the traitor who deliberately with Lisa Gummy Bear set up the president for a coup. It was a pre-coup attempt and then a coup attempt after he won. And he's now a big hot shot on MSNBC or CNN as an expert on various things. Don't forget, Donald Trump is also making the point. He said, I want my stuff back because part of it was his dealings and communications with his lawyers. Talk about attorney-client privilege. And the other thing was also not only attorney-client privilege, but executive privilege.
They don't care about that anymore.
And they don't care, but they took it all without even looking at it.
There's no rule of law anymore.
I know. It's absolutely, it's disgraceful.
Show us the man, I'll show you the crime.
Yeah. That's right. Well, it's a fishing expedition. And again, okay, how is it that anybody has lost sight of the fact that after all the time he's been out of office, all of a sudden, with just a few weeks before the fall off-year election, they decide to pull this raid on Donald Trump to make sure that he's now once again in the news as a traitor and a Russian covert operative, and that he's
for half the country, but the other half thinks it's great.
And they're so excited to get the Democrats back to the polls again. I mean, it's obviously a scheme. Why did they wait until now? Why didn't they do it 3 months after he left office?
Or why didn't they wait till closer to November?
Because then nothing would have been done, or they would have lost the momentum other than for the 1 day period. Now we got 6 weeks of coverage.
But the other thing, this has revitalized the Trump movement.
Hopefully.
Well, on the other hand,
if people like Bill Maher are saying Trump will win.
I know.
When did he say that?
He just said the FBI raid backfired and it's going to give Trump more momentum.
But he was laughing about it. He thought it was great.
Yeah.
He started his show off talking about, who would have thunk that he'd be up to no good, as if he's guilty.
Yeah. And of course you hear continuing now from... quote, after a lifetime of criminality, Trump will be indicted. He led an armed insurrection to overthrow the United States government. Unquote. Rob Reiner. Meathead.
You would have known if we were armed.
Yeah, armed. An armed insurrection to overthrow the government. I mean, an armed insurrection. The only people armed were the cops who shot an innocent woman in the neck, unarmed, who was surrounded by police at the time, by the way. Anyway, so some of the reaction, because he's a meathead and as smart as a vegetable. Cliff said, armed, sit down, meathead. Holly, Rob Reiner was just never quite able to get out of the character since his meathead days. There was no armed mob. He was leading a rally that was still in progress when the FBI planted phony pipe bombs and started guiding tourists into the Capitol. Meathead. Tim Zinn, I wish Archie was around to slap the dog shit out of you. Meathead is a communist and anti-American war hog. And then I love this picture meme with Archie Bunker himself, and it says, oh, jeez, would you look at that there? A Hollywood liberal thinks we care what he thinks. Archie was right. You really are a meathead. And someone said, hey, care to make that interesting, Rob? How about a wager? $1 million. Let's make this happen. I'm serious. Anyway, he's off his rocker. He's insane. He's competing with Stephen King to see who's the most deranged. Stephen King basically says nuts. Trump should be executed.
He's nuts. And by the way, he had 3 good books. Let's go. And I had friends who worship him, and I understand that. They love him. Okay. He had 3 good books.
Yeah.
So please, enough. It's the same schlock over and over and over and over again. Very successful at it.
Yeah.
But come on.
Yeah. Now, and speaking of, did you want to have something to talk about propaganda concerning the White House or the administration?
Sure did. I'm sure glad
while
you
I'm thinking of it,
Kimber, because that's a big important thing that we're going to talk about today. In fact, let me find it.
And while you mention it, I want to remind people that if you have something you'd like to get some money for or see what else people are going to have on tap that maybe you could enjoy at your place, how about a visit or a phone call or a visit on the web to M&S Title Pawn? One of our Kimber Show podcast sponsors, it's the letters M&S Title Pawn in lovely Bremen, Georgia, right there at 306 Laurel Street, Suite A. Open Monday through Saturday. Visit them in person, and they'd be very happy to take care of business for you, buying, selling, whatever, trading, figuring things out. M&S Title Pawn. They have a phone number and love to answer the calls. Area 678-821-3337. And on the web, if you write down the phrase M&S Title, it turns out that you can spell it manstitle.com. M-A-N-D-S title.com. Our sponsor, M&S Title Pawn in Bremen. And our great appreciation.
Talking about the last few weeks of the propaganda war that's going on, trying to that this is the summer of the Biden's revival and all that. We've got several different news organizations that have been propping them up. Well, the latest is The Atlantic.
Oh, God.
And Omri Saran says The Atlantic has become Slate for people who don't always have to move their lips when they read. And here's their headline by Molly Jong Fast. Joe Biden is a phoenix. The dark branded meme understands the secret of Biden. The moment all looks darkest, he rises from the ashes.
It's Phoenix. President Phoenix rises from the ashes.
And they got a photo of him with his sunglasses on because he's
By the way,
drugged
his eyes are screwed up. You can tell that he's on drugs.
He's drugged.
They're giving him a cocktail, a Mickey, every day to get him to be able to walk upright. And speaking of the Atlantic, you know what the other story was in the Atlantic?
What's the other story in the Atlantic?
Well, the other story, which is hard to believe, is that they are now, the article complains that the Catholic Rosary is now a symbol of extremist right-wing killers.
I'll have to go get one then.
Yes, and the contributor Daniel Peniton declared the Catholic Rosary has become a symbol of religious radicalism. The string of beads Catholics use as they say a sequence of prayers have a darker meaning now. Quote, just as is the Rosary. Quote, just as the AR-15 rifle has become a sacred object for Christian nationalists in general, the rosaries acquired a militaristic meaning for radical traditional or rad-trad Catholics. On this extremist fringe, rosary beads have been woven into a conspiratorial politics and absolutist gun culture. These armed radical traditionalists, or the rad-trads, have taken up a spiritual notion that the rosary can be a weapon in the fight against good and evil. And I can't even read the rest of it. Oh, my God. Now, I'm not Catholic. I have married two of them.
I've got my family. Yeah.
And I have lied to a Catholic priest so I could get married because I had requested orders to go to Vietnam. And they finally, it took months and months. I was engaged, and they finally came in, and I had to get out, so I had to re-enlist to go. And I didn't tell her. And the guy said, well, you promised to raise your kids Catholic if you get married on 6 days' notice. And I said yes. And I lied to him. I signed the form, and I lied knowing I was not going to raise my kids Catholic.
You're Protestant. It's okay. You don't owe him anything.
It's kind of like.
But I'm telling you right now, us Christians have more in common with Catholics than we do these heathens.
Well, that's true.
And it's time to get together. Because
this is bad.
Please.
I mean, this really.
They're trying to destroy. It's satanic. They're trying to destroy everything that's good.
I mean, how do you link the rosary with the AR-15
that they do prayers on? I think.
And by the way,
the albinos use it to strangle people.
And speaking of puff pieces, oh my
wait a
God!
minute. Speaking of puff pieces, brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets. These puff pieces. ClosetPro.net 404-255-0589. Atlanta Custom Closets. ClosetPro.net. I had to say that because you've lapped me here. You've done 4.
Well, I'm sorry,
and I haven't got just one.
Well, Atlanta Custom Closets is one of our very favorite people. They do a great job. Atlanta Custom Closets, the folks over there are some of our very favorite people. I think you can know the point. Again, God bless you for sponsoring. Times are hard. You're sponsored. You're trying to keep us on. I mean, we're not making any money, but believe me, we're trying to keep this going. So God bless you. Sponsorships, donations. And you'll get a handwritten thank you note. Wow. Or if you requested some of my coloring book pages, I sent some to somebody here in a minute when she'll get them. Speaking of puff pieces, Paul Krugman.
Oh, that guy.
Quote, Biden's notably successful summer.
Oh, my God.
That's the headline. Notably successful summer. The truth is the news narratives and polls are symbiotic. The narratives help shape what people believe, which is then captured by the polls. Joe Biden can't catch a break. Biden has had some bad months, to be sure, but there is no way to get around the fact that the last month or so has been stellar for the administration. Stellar. On the economic front, gas prices have fallen. The jobs market also has shown incredible resilience, far outpaced expectations. Biden has signed the most significant federal gun safety legislation in nearly 30 years. He's spending on Build Back Better, which everyone thought was dead. It was resurrected in the form of inflation reduction. His foreign policy wins, killing of al-Qaeda leader so-and-so, expanding NATO to include Finland and Sweden. And the Russians have suggested they're open to discussing a prison swap for Brittany Griner. Another foreign policy achievement success. Biden's string of victories may not be enough to shift the narrative, but the White House also must shift its messaging on the offensive. Must seize this moment and not be shy about shouting about his wins.
What a shill.
Oh my God!
Whore.
And they are. They're shouting about his win. Yeah.
And that guy has been wrong on every single major economic issue for 20 years.
As we
since
mentioned,
Reagan.
I think we mentioned Friday. He's the one who said the internet will never replace the copy machine, or
said that Trump would crash within the first 2 months. Trump would crash the stock market.
I mean,
honestly, wrong, and they keep trotting him out.
And he's still there. Well, all the commentators on the liberal cable networks. That's where they get these people.
I don't know who's more irritating, him or Newt Gingrich, to be constantly trotted out.
Golly, Sean.
Shut up and go away, you
honey,
bastard.
will you sign this for me?
Take your bird-like wife and go away.
Yeah, it's too much.
This is the guy who gave us NAFTA with Clinton.
Yeah,
Don't forget that. Newt Gingrich gave us NAFTA. He started the jobs to Mexico shit.
Yeah.
And told us how great it was going to be.
Yeah, and let's bring China into the world favor of not only the United Nations but the world trading partners too.
And managed to his credit, for the first time in generations, take the Congress back, the House back for Republicans.
For America.
And how soon did it take for him to screw that up?
Yeah, and then voted not to convict the president who should have been convicted. I mean, it's amazing. Sorry, I wasn't even going to mention this, but just for the record, again, the Republicans are theoretically vowing to get to the bottom, to get some answers on what happened with the disgraceful withdrawal out of Afghanistan. Hundreds of American citizens, maybe thousands, abandoned by their own country behind enemy lines, relying on personal contacts to get them out. Billions of dollars worth of American military equipment left behind, unaccounted for, in the possession of the Taliban, which, by the way, is back in control now. And I just saw a news article this morning. Women can't go outside at night. You have to be covered if you're outside, period. They're not letting girls get educations. Women are trying to protest for bread and education or something. And you know how well that's going to travel. Now the Taliban has taken control again of Afghanistan, which Biden said we don't need to worry about anymore because there's no more Taliban. And so he left and left all our shit there. They beat and murder innocent civilians. Remember the pictures of all the Afghanis clinging to the airplanes that were dropping them from the sky when they took off and stuff. And again, the withdrawal when he got the troops out and he shut down the military airport and had people leaving from the civilian airport, which couldn't be defended, with nobody to defend it. And then everybody was in, and then of course then the blow up of the bomber that killed those Americans, including a Marine whose name was.
Go ahead.
A Marine whose name was Lance Corporal Kareem Nakui of Norco, California, 20-year-old United States Marine. One of the 13 troops killed when the suicide bomber blew up outside the Kabul airport as Americans were fleeing the Taliban fighters, so forth. Well, the dead Marine's brother went to a memorial service for him. At his memorial service, Dakota Halverson, a loving son, brother, and friend, and killed himself at Pikes Peak in the morning. It was taking place at a memorial for his dead brother, the Marine killed in Afghanistan, at the airport. The family, of course, obviously is beside itself. Their son never got over the fact that his brother was blown up in a bombing after they were supposedly leaving Afghanistan. And now the Republicans are claiming that if they get back in control, they're going to get to the very bottom of it after. I don't believe it.
They're going to write another blank check for the military to waste.
I don't believe anything about these people. I don't trust them. Now maybe I hope I'm wrong if they get back in power. And by the way, I saw some people, even conservatives, somebody saying, I think it was last night, and they were saying, we got some more polls here are show that it's only about 50-50 to bring back the Congress. And I said, oh my, please God, you got to vote. If you aren't registered to vote and you're a conservative, you've got to vote. I mean, if they pull this off again.
I think it's too late. I think there's more. In some ways, there's more of them than us, and they're used.
I think there are more than us, and so we have to turn out. I mean, again, that's why we lost both Senate seats.
Well,
they cheated.
That and they cheated.
Well, they
stole it.
Oh, God. But again, if we had just turned out, I might have been well over the difference. And they're not letting things go. Did you hear Kyle Rittenhouse back in the news again? Man, he's going to be rich because he's going to win more of those lawsuits, and he'll be a millionaire the rest of his life. But how would you like to be Kyle Rittenhouse? What is he, 22, 21 years old right now? He was going to go to Arizona State University, but of course that didn't work because they found out about it, so the student body went nuts. So now, over the weekend, Kyle Rittenhouse got famous again on social media because he was in a small town in Texas. Kyle Rittenhouse he's only 19 now. My God, I forgot about that. He was, of course, found innocent by a jury of his peers in August 2 years ago for shooting the demonstrators who tried to kill him in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Kyle Rittenhouse was in Thrall, Texas, which serves outside the city of Austin, because he is apparently trying to go to a junior college. Let's see. Hold on a second here. Junior college. Welcome to Texas. Here we go. The 19-year-old from Antioch, Illinois, is attending Blinn College, a public junior college in Texas. He hopes to eventually transfer to Texas A&M. He originally was going to go, I believe, to Arizona State, and of course they went nuts because of that. So he's in this small town in Texas now, trying to continue his college education. And he stopped by. He met some police officers, and they took a selfie. with Kyle Rittenhouse and put it on their Facebook page. It was posted the other day, a selfie with an unidentified police officer smiling with Kyle Rittenhouse. Got 1,700 comments, no big deal, several thousand likes, and all of a sudden, they got a whole bunch of negative comments saying, is this not how... Oh, no, the bad comments were... let's see. Sick. You're making him out as a hero. Shame on your officer in this department. I get it. He's a disgrace. It's a waste of taxpayers' dollars. Is this a joke? You're supporting a murderer. Well, the police, in fact, there's a sound of that cop. I don't know whether we have it or could find it, but
all I saw was tweets.
Okay. Well, it was on this morning. It was one cop, and what he said was, now wait a minute, hold on a second. That's not how our country works. He said, if you make those stops, you never know who you might meet. Today it was Kyle Rittenhouse. Welcome to Texas. He was serving a police officer on a thing, and then. After all the negative comments, he said, I must have missed something. I believe that this young man was arrested, charged, indicted, and then found not guilty by a jury of his peers. Is this not how our country works anymore? The hate in these comments is terrible. If you have information that is contrary to that, I would honestly love to hear it. Again, Rittenhouse was 17 when he answered the calls to help defend businesses.
Ignore them.
I know.
They're the minority. Ignore them.
I know. And again, a 29-year-old black man named Jacob Blake tried to kill him, and Kyle had to defend himself. Again, these are it was a child molester and then a murderer, and all these people tried to murder him, and he shot back in self-defense and saved his own life, and obviously lives of others as well. Was acquitted by the jury, but despite racial justice protests and the left-leaning media. And the cops are saying, wait a minute, criticized the post as a disgrace, questioning if he had been stopped for a traffic violation and ripped the selfie as a waste of taxpayers' dollars on police work. God. Anyway, he's trying to live a normal life as a college kid, and it's not going to happen. I mean, it's just not, I don't know how he's ever going to have any kind of a normal
Basically,
life.
take your money and move to the Philippines on a beach somewhere where they don't give a shit.
I guess.
That's what he's going to have to do. Go to Japan. Go someplace and sit on the beach with your millions.
Yeah. Well, he'll be rich. I mean, I guess, does he won anything yet, or is he still I think he's still suing. I'm not sure he's won. He's actually been to court yet, but I haven't. Now, the other guy, the Indian powwow thing has won millions already, but I don't think Kyle's settled. I don't think anybody's settled with him yet, but he's going to be rich. So, let's see. Am I done with all my phone thing? I guess I am.
Kimmer's lost his way. Brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com. That's right. They print Kimmer Show T-shirts, Holy Crap and Sports T-shirts, custom shirts, hats, signs, all kinds of stuff. Thermoses, very special thermoses for you. Laser engraving
Travel
now
mugs.
on cups and signs and leather goods. Leather goods, like the sound of that.
Leather, you into leather?
So get in there and let them do it at the laser engraving place called FarmhousePrintingCo.com. And if you have something you want on the T-shirt, just send it to them, and they'll give you 1,000 of them. You'll pay for it, but still.
If you have a picture you like and you want it on a coffee mug or a shirt or hat, send it to them and they'll do it.
Take a picture of your family and then have it all put on T-shirts and hand it out at Thanksgiving. That's a great thing.
Right, absolutely. A real funny, goofy one or something. Just they'll all have a good laugh.
Take a naked pic and then have it blown up.
Even better. And send one to us to make sure the quality is always. Oh no, I got it wrong there. Okay, now I mentioned. I started talking about this before. I'm trying to remember when I was in elementary school. I'm having flashbacks of memories when I used to sit at the lunch table with my friends, and my mother used to make great sandwiches. Mm-hmm. She was the queen of sandwich making. Great lunches. Not just sandwich, but the great lunches. And so I used to bring my lunch, and I remember I had a Roy Rogers and a Lone Ranger metal the tin lunch boxes with a thermos.
Hey, we're the monkeys.
Yeah, and I remember I had the metal thermos, and if you dropped it, it broke the inside thermos.
I still have the thermos, the monkeys thermos.
Yeah. I think I saw it over here, but doing a thing one day. Anyways, so clearly I remember taking my lunch to school in elementary school. I think in junior high, I remember going through a cafeteria.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I think in elementary school we brought our lunch, and in junior high.
The older you got, the more you went to the
you went to the lunch
school lunch,
line,
and you didn't bring because it was kind of a childish thing that your mama made your lunch. You know?
I guess that was it, and plus,
and they had pizza. They started having pizza.
Now here's what's going on now. Apparently. Senator Raphael Weifnacher and his liberal contemporaries have refused to fund the federally funded school lunch program. He said there were too many white kids taking advantage of it, and he would have nothing to do with a program that helped white people. He also was protesting against the rules for not letting teenage girls get abortions without telling their parents. His slogan, Raphael Weifnacher, his slogan is, if she's 13, she can get clean. And again, to me, that's just disgusting. But anyway, the federal program for free lunches is over. Why? Well, because they didn't fund it, because they're liberals and they don't give a crap about this. They'd rather have, electric cars for the post office. And for dump trucks. I can't wait to see a construction site where they're waiting to charge up the batteries for the bulldozers. Now, for many Metro Atlanta students, no more free lunch. You're going to have to sign up, and it'll be a charge accounts and stuff like that. However, all the students at 52 Atlanta public schools can continue eating lunch for free, but the remaining 20 schools in the city's north and east sides will have to put an online account for breakfast or lunch. A family of 4 has to make $36,000 or less to get free meals. The people who are on food, they call it the people who are food insecure.
What? What does that mean?
It means you're not secure enough to get your own food. Food insecure. You don't have money. You're poor. You're food insecure. If you're poor, you are food insecure, ladies and gentlemen. And incomes that are too high to be eligible. Inflation driving up bills. It's a bad time to start removing excess, as the critics say. Free meals were a game changer, but some students pass up free meals out of embarrassment that they'll be judged for living in poverty. When all kids eat for free, it levels the playing field. And again, the other thing is the shaming of kids. There have actually been, remember the cases, we talked about this on the radio a couple of years ago, where a kid would go get his cafeteria tray, go to the thing, and she'd say, "Oh, your family hasn't paid its bill. We can't give you the lunch." Oh, my God.
That's the worst. Come on.
I mean, the lunch shaming, and it's still it
that has
happens.
nothing to do with the kid.
I mean, honestly, that's just wrong in every possible way. Can you imagine being the person who would do that to a child? Can you imagine being the cashier who would say, "Oh, I'm sorry, your family hasn't paid. You can't eat that today." I mean, it's just oh God. Anyway, no more free lunch for a lot.
How can Democrats answer that they did that?
They're supposed to be the bigger government socialists, take care of everybody.
Everything they were, they're not anymore.
The safety net. Where's the safety net? Unless you're talking about the Green New Deal and having trains run to Hawaii underwater, I guess, or whatever, and no more airplanes because of the fuel cost. Anyway, and again, it's a podcast, so we don't do news things, and I'm just getting the biggest kick out of these. So the entire, there's a whole section of the Al Jazeera Constitution, which is all crime. And it's all black people. There's all the faces of everybody are all black. There's all two Hispanics and all black.
All the TV news, it's all black crime.
Janina Gonzalez and Trinetta Prashisha Stevens. Shaquilla Feaster, Daquan Reed. One after another of these shootings. And of course, you put the pictures, and it's all 4 murdered in separate weekend shootings that shot another 8 people here in Atlanta. Part of Clayton
you're racist
County.
for pointing it out.
I know I'm racist pointing it out, but I have to because they're making us. We better make sure everybody's clear on everything, because if you want to separate us, then let's be separate. If that's what you want, I mean, you started it, so let's
separate
continue
but
it.
Equal.
But here's this one crime case that kills me, and honestly, I'm not making this up. A fellow named Antoine Sims, a 24-year-old fellow.
That's Irish kid.
A 24-year-old Antoine Sims was at a McDonald's on Cobb Parkway, and apparently he got his fries, and they were cold.
Oh, no.
And so he confronted the manager saying, "Fix my blanking food." So then the manager said, well, you just have to leave the restaurant and don't come back. Sims shoved food at the manager and then threw a drink on him. The manager said, don't come back here. The manager also happened to notice that Mr. Sims was wearing an ankle bracelet. Now, the funny part of the story is that after Mr. Sims decided his French fries were cold and he wanted to fix my blanking food, now my food's sitting there cold, the fries are lukewarm but they're not hot, and I wanted fresh fries instead of a refund, and the manager wouldn't do it, so Mr. Sims called the police. He called 911 because his fries were lukewarm. Mm-hmm. Mr. Sims was wearing an ankle bracelet. He was wearing an ankle bracelet because he had been released on a $275,000 bond a couple of months ago after an active warrant was issued for not appearing in court after being released from jail on a murder charge. He was involved with a murder some time ago, and the car was in flames, a woman's body inside, charged with felony murder. Turned themselves in a month later, arrested in Wisconsin 2 years ago, came back. But again, he called 911. Here's a guy with an ankle bracelet who wanted on a murder charge, and they arrested him because he avoided a warrant when he was supposed to show up to check in before.
We have breaking news.
Breaking news.
Pete's looking at it right now.
What do you got?
First reported case of monkeypox from dog to human.
No, the dog got it from the human.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A gay couple.
Were they having sex with the dog?
Oh, my God. Dear God, Lord.
All it says is a dog belonging to a gay French couple has contracted monkeypox after sharing their bed. The first confirmed case of human to pet infection, according to reports.
Yeah, how do you define bed? Sharing their what? Yeah, you do the bed over there, and I'll do the bed over here, I guess. Oh, God. You know, I've not spent 4 seconds thinking about monkeypox.
And Why should we?
Here we go. You know, again, they're going to try to make this another thing.
Yeah,
they're
come at me with that jab. CDC... I didn't take your first jab. I sure as hell ain't taking this jab.
Not only that, they're going to use this, I'm telling you, not only to help keep Donald Trump out of it, but if he gets in, to have us do mail balloting again for the election. I'll bet this is just another part of the scheme.
Because the thing is, like last week, the CDC reduced the guidelines of the mask, so they can't use mail-in ballots as an excuse.
All of a sudden now they're saying, oh, my God, our pens are affected now. So here we go.
Hold on a second. Don't be too hasty here. Mail-in ballots, bad.
Yeah.
But mail ballots, let's go back to that.
Yeah. Well,
the women don't vote.
No women. How do you spell that?
And you got to own land.
By the way, speaking of free...
everyone gets to vote. Everyone, even the stupid ones.
Speaking of freaky things, there's a huge kind of a puff piece about the forest defenders at the what would be the Atlanta Police Training Center in DeKalb County, Atlanta, part of DeKalb County. They've now scared off anybody trying to work there to make the place it's supposed to be a police. It's the old Atlanta prison farm. And they're supposed to have a new police training facility. And the hippies and freakos have been living in the woods out there.
It's an autonomous zone.
It's an autonomous zone. They've taken over. Anytime somebody brings a bulldozer to try to clear stuff, they destroy it. The quote, "The tow truck is no more. We hope this serves as a warning to other tow trucks and machines thinking about entering the forest to evict or destroy the woods. You'll inevitably suffer the same fate." But these are forest defenders. The training facility is supposed to be Cop City, and they've all gone nuts about it. And these are the freakoids who are still getting away with it. I mean, I know. You go in there and you put them in handcuffs and take them away.
If you were right wing, they'd be surrounded by the FBI.
If they were wearing MAGA hats, you don't think the FBI would be in there with their undercover agents already, by the way, infiltrating the place? Yeah. In fact, I guarantee you, if those people who were wearing MAGA hats, the FBI already would have had an infiltrating undercover stooge Fink inside, at least one inside, and he'd be saying, "All right, let's have a nice riot. Let's burn down some vehicles, yay!" Just like they did on January 6th, and just like they did in Michigan.
By the
freaking FBI.
Didn't they have forced defenders in Vietnam when you were there? How did you get rid of them?
That's right. We got rid of them by our little friend called the acid flying from the sky,
Napalm?
otherwise known as napalm and Agent Orange. And in fact,
that right quick.
Well, hold on, I'll do this right now. I was going to mention it before. Hold on, I've got it here somewhere. Stand by. Here we go. Oh no. Oh yeah, here we go. On this day, now I got to make a note because I was going to do this later. On this day in 1979, one of the most iconic movie lines of all time hit the big screen with the release of Apocalypse Now, starring Marlon Brando, Martin Sheen, and the man who delivered the famous line, Robert Duvall. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I mean, who doesn't know that line? Even if you haven't seen the movie, you know that line. And the fact of the matter is, the napalm was gasoline. I mean, it was a gas bomb jelly. Yeah. And of course, the famous picture of those two naked little girls with the napalm jelly all over them. And again, Agent Orange. I mean, these things just were great because they destroyed the forest. I mean, napalm would kill, the enemy people, setting them on fire. But Agent Orange would destroy the jungle so that they couldn't hide. I mean, that's why the Agent Orange was to destroy vegetation. It wasn't used to be dropped on troops. It was used to destroy foliage, so you can see what you're doing. Anyway, that was, speaking of the napalm in the morning, that was that. And speaking of the trees, look at this. I got this huge thing in the mail, the 2022 Georgia Tree Survey. Now,
how many trees died?
I thought the Georgia Tree Survey, and then the reason I brought this in quickly. I won't dwell on it, but quick talk about. Look at the address.
All right.
The address is to K. Peterson.
Yes, sir.
The only place where I have ever signed my name or requested a document with the name K. Peterson on it is in my return address labels.
Right.
It's not on my driver's license doesn't say K. Peterson. My social security card, nothing I have in my official documentation of my life, nothing says K. Peterson. The only K. Peterson is on my return address labels because I don't put the first name Kim. I put K. Peterson on my address labels. So they must have gotten this from my address labels.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, why? It's an automated thing, so they must have gotten it from my address labels.
Who knows?
It's like the Kim R. Peterson. Okay. I put the R down when I was in college in 1964.
Okay. But you have to ask yourself, is this interesting?
Well, okay. Well, I'll ask you two. I'll mention two quick things. Well, first, it was interesting that they're coming up with surveys.
It's generic, and they don't want to say one way or the other, so they just put your first initial.
Well, I don't know. Dear K. Peterson, you may be wondering why we think trees are important. Trees are important as a job at Arbor Day Foundation to make sure. The trees we plant, cause we planted in our forests, make it indispensable fighting the grave threat of climate change. Yeah, they'll give me a free gift if I fill out the survey. Please describe the immediate area where you live. Which is would you say is the single most important function of trees? 1, providing shade, providing oxygen, being a source of beauty, removing carbon dioxide, filtering water. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But the good thing is, they did send me some new address labels.
That's so nice.
And I'll use them because they're address labels.
Nice.
And I use them to when I pay my bills, I put them back. And they're beautiful. They're green.
If I still used envelopes and mail, I would.
But they're also pretty classy. They have just a simple P with my initial on it. So, anyways, anybody need a calendar? You want a calendar?
Actually, yes.
I'll give you this
for next year.
And a certificate of appreciation. You got a calendar and a certificate. So
we truly appreciate it.
But again, I thought that was pretty weird that I got on the same day that there's a big story about the.
You're going to find that next November. You know that,
people.
Right? You're going to forget completely you have that calendar and find it.
No, I'm going to put it on my refrigerator.
Oh,
cool. Yeah, I mean that's
right here with my trophy.
That's what I use them for. I have a calendar on my desk. I write my bills out to, so I always know what I'm
get my manatee calendar.
Oh, there you are. A couple of quick newsy things of not particular monster importance, but things of an update. Remember the Republican candidate and politician in Alabama, Roy Moore. You'll recall during his failed 2017 U.S. Senate bid in Alabama. A Senate Majority PAC, Political Action Committee, made false and defamatory statements against Roy Moore in one of their ads, claiming that he had been having sex with a bunch of underage girls. And so Roy Moore sued him, and he has just won $8 million in damages. He lost a couple other suits, and one against comedian Sacha Baron Cohen. He lost that one, but he won against a super PAC that has to pay him $8 million for defaming him during the campaign, which I thought was pretty unusual.
Speaking of which,
yes,
what pretty much killed Cohen's career there for a while was The Dictator, that movie, The Dictator.
Yeah.
I have seen bits and pieces of that on the YouTube. It's funny as hell.
He's a fun. I mean,
it's funny as hell.
He's in the movie. What's that? Oh, what's the other movie that I have parts of it?
Yeah, the Skeet one. Yeah, we talked about him. Yeah, he's
where he plays the guy. His sister's the biggest whore in Kazakhstan, and he comes over to America.
Yeah, it's Borat.
Borat, yeah. And I'm telling you, 7 or 8 of the funniest minutes in moviedom are him when he goes up to talk to the black guys and when he's sitting at the dinner. I mean, at dinner table, and he said, "Oh, your wife not get so much as whore. No, not too good." But I mean, he was the bit was funny.
He's talking to, they built a missile to shoot, probably at us. And it's kind of round at the top. He goes, no, this is no good. That doesn't intimidate anybody. The missile has to be pointed. It's very scary, the pointing. And the scientist looks at him and goes, I don't think you know how intercontinental ballistic missiles work, sir. You know, and all due respect, this is what it's supposed to be. He goes, no. I have seen this on and reports and television. He goes, let me ask you a question, Mr. President. In these documentaries you've seen, is there a duck that when the rabbit shoots him, his bill goes around to the back of his head, and he has to pull it back around again before he talks? And he goes, yes, that duck does have a deformity. And then he ends up killing the scientist. He just does the kill thing. Like,
yeah, stop.
Kill the guy. It's funnier than hell.
Wasn't he dating Katy Perry or something?
No, he's married to Isla Fisher for a long time.
That's right.
Yeah.
She was a cutie.
She still is.
Redhead cutie, yeah.
That hottie from Wedding Crashers?
Oh, yeah.
Diamond.
I'm so glad I finally had someone to take my virginity. Remember, you, huh? What? That's pretty funny. A couple of quick notes. As you know, I read Dear Abby or Gene Phillips, whatever. And one of them, women, chicks, man. Dear Abby, I'm a successful 55-year-old married man. I love my wife, but I have a girlfriend I also love. Both women feed my soul. I hate that society tells me I'm wrong for having the two of them. I spend quality time with both. I make enough money to go on expensive extended vacations. I love my life. These two ladies are the best thing ever happened to me besides my 3 beautiful children. Why shouldn't I be able to enjoy both of them without feeling like I'm sneaking around all the time? I know there are going to be some naysayers who will respond, but most women will probably never be the only woman in a man's life. Now, that's the only reason I mentioned this, because I wondered whether most men think that's true. Or at what stage into your life do you realize, there probably will not just be one woman, be the only woman.
I think there's stages in people's life, both men and women, where you're not the same person you were in high school or college or right out of college.
And you do grow apart. You
meet somebody that in certain ways fits you like a jigsaw puzzle better than the other person fits you like a jigsaw puzzle.
At that stage.
Of your life. And it's tricky. You can't tell somebody.
It's heartbreaking, too, because you're still,
If you got kids involved and you're married and everything, it's horrible.
She quickly says, may sound like a silly detail, but how does your wife and mistress feel about this?
Does she know? Does the wife know?
I don't think he says. Is your wife on board with this? How about your mistress? Will she be satisfied with the status quo until she's a senior citizen? And nowhere in your letter have you asked me for advice. I'm printing it because we all know there are married men in the upper income brackets like you who feel entitled to enjoy the attentions of more than one woman, but all it demonstrates is that having money does not guarantee a person has character or class. Boom. Good for you, dear Abby.
Well,
he's selfish.
How do you tell someone how not to fall in love?
I know. Well, that's true too. That's the other. He just sounds like he wants to have his cake and eat it too. He just wants to have 2 women, and he's got the money.
There are cads and scoundrels out there
that's
too.
not exactly that. That scenario.
But that's 2 women off the street that he's taking care of.
That's right. I don't have to worry about anymore. Oh, sorry.
That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, every woman I know wants to be my ex-wife. I never have to work again. Well, let's see. No, really, seriously. 1955 on this day, Elvis Presley met his manager, and Vernon Presley met together with him, and Elvis signed over basically the rights to every aspect of his career on this day in 1955 to Andreas Cornelius van Kuchik, a Dutch immigrant who used to promote circus acts like a pony show, dancing turkeys, and carnivals and medicine shows.
If I could go back in time.
In Louisiana, Governor Jimmy Davis, the singing governor, "You are my sunshine, you are my sunshine," that was Jimmy Davis, gave this guy the title Colonel Tom Parker.
If you could go back in time, Elvis,
Yeah.
no, don't.
Wow.
Don't
do it. And his family was, they were all in it. Of course,
well,
it was 1955.
they
He was
didn't know better.
He was a hayseed kid, He was singing in black churches, doing hymnals and stuff.
He was working in Memphis. I think they moved to Memphis by then, and he was a truck driver.
He was a trucker.
Recording songs when he could. Yeah.
1965, speaking of music history, the Beatles set a world record for the largest attendance of a live pop concert when they drew more than 55,000 screaming fans to Shea Stadium in New York City. The Beatles were paid, this is amazing, 1965, the Beatles were paid $160,000 for the show. Yeah. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards were in the audience, and later Bob Dylan paid the Beatles a visit at their hotel. And by the way, nobody in the stadium could hear a word of the concert. The screaming overpowered the sound at the stadium.
Sound was horrible too. They didn't know how to do
Terrible.
sound back then.
Yeah, that's right. It was horrible.
It was a giant stadium. It was all echo.
Yeah. Well, Shea at that
Shea
time,
Stadium.
65, wasn't it kind of open in the outfield?
Yeah. And
So the
nobody
sound
could
just
hear
left.
anything. It was
Was Candlestick the same way?
Candlestick was open when they opened. In the outfield, it was open.
Yeah.
Which
Now,
was
they
bad
play-
idea.
Did they play at Fulton County?
Yes, they played which I didn't find out till I was an adult, that they had actually played Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. That the Beatles
I
were
don't
here.
remember that for some reason.
It was in the 60s.
Yeah.
But that's when they built the cereal bowl stadiums that look like
Yeah, that
just a
was horrible.
giant bowl,
Everybody
pretty much.
had them, and
Yeah.
multi-purpose.
It was boring.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah. Well, they weren't multi-purpose stadiums. They were a football stadium.
And I have great memories of Atlanta Fulton County because that was the first.
Yeah,
one
that's
we
where I
all the
went to
time
see
as a
Hank
kid.
Aaron.
Yeah, I
but
remember-
still, I didn't cry when they tore it down because I thought it was a piece of crap.
I remember I
yeah.
went to a game and remember when they would the guys would skydive in.
Yeah.
One of them
Right.
got caught on the wires and luckily he didn't fall too bad, but he got caught and then went down pretty quick.
Carl Walenda
We were
wires.
right there. We were right there.
My parents took us to see Carl Walenda walk across that, and
Really?
I tell you what, I was like, "Why did you bring me to
Yeah,
this?
I
don't
want
want to see
do
this."
it. My hands are sweating just thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't want to see that
I
guy
am not
fall.
a heights guy, and I was up on top of the outside of the building of the Hancock Tower, whatever the hell, Sears Tower, with the window washers. Dear God, no harness or anything. Oh. 1969, the Woodstock Festival began. 500,000 people there for, quote, the Peace and Harmony Festival. A few people died. A bunch of babies were born.
Everybody at that age says they were there, and all are lying.
Yeah, I was not. I was I was just out of the Marines. I was getting to work in Phoenix, Arizona State, too. 1914, the Panama Canal opens. This was a miraculous achievement. It began in 1880 by the French, but 20,000 workers died digging the Panama Canal, mostly from malaria and yellow fever. So the Americans took it over. It's 48 miles with 3 locks. And it's an engineering marvel.
Teddy Roosevelt did it.
It's sent so you didn't have to go around the southern tip of the South America to get, and it saved, everything, billions of dollars and time.
The Cape of Good Hope is Africa, right? Or which one?
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Cape
No, this was, yeah. Now wait a minute.
What's the Cape of South
The Isthmus
America?
of.
That's supposed to be the worst one. That Cape around South America is supposed to be the worst to go through.
Yeah. 1945, President Harry Truman made the announcement the day before at the White House, but this is officially.
Cape Horn?
Cape Horn.
That Cape Horn.
Cape
That's
Horn.
Africa. I thought that was Africa.
It says Cape of South America is Cape Horn is the southernmost headline of the Tierra del
Fuego. Tierra del Fuego.
In southern Chile.
That means land of fire.
Japan surrendered on this, officially unconditionally on this day, a victory in Japan Day in 1945. 1994, Ilyich Ramirez Sanchez captured in Khartoum, Sudan, by French intelligence agents linked to worldwide terrorist groups better known as the Jackal. And by the way, the movie The Jackal is based on research which said that he had come up with a plan to actually assassinate de Gaulle or whatever he was doing, but it was based on
Day of the Jackal is the one from the 70s, which is very good, about de Gaulle.
Which was actually based on a plan that he wanted to do. The other Jackal, I think, was totally made up.
Bruce Willis,
which is a good movie.
You're right, it's a very good movie.
Yeah, and Sidney Poitier,
and Richard Gere.
It's
a good movie.
A very good movie. Well done, well acted, good script.
Bruce Willis was a mean son of a bitch.
Yeah. 1995, a day that disgraced FBI Director Miss Christine Wray here in Atlanta, the shame of Atlanta, will celebrate with his top cronies in the Democrat Party and Justice Department, celebrating when FBI agents murdered Randy Weaver's wife and son during a siege at his federal assassins in 1992 at Ruby Ridge, Idaho. But the lily-livered dictator director hates the fact that the Justice Department on this day paid Randy, the so-called white supremacist, millions of dollars to get over it, and to get even with the FBI, getting caught like the firebombing of children they turned into crispy Christians at El Waco, Texas. Miss Christine Wray decided to sick SWAT teams on Donald Trump's house, hoping to kill him in a crossfire, but again, it didn't work.
By the way, you need to Netflix that Waco movie.
You told me that's a good one.
The Weaver thing, and it shows Waco.
I don't know if I want. I mean, where I'm in my head right now,
it'll make you so angry.
I'll join the conspiracy.
How even people in the FBI were going, "What are we doing?"
Yeah. Well, they firebombed the. They threw a grenade into a tank or whatever. I mean, anyway. Here's our showbiz note. Here's one of Flounder's guy. Again, I look up several, and Flounder it tends to be one of my favorites. His showbiz guy wrote this in 1997. 1 year after Kazam, Shaquille O'Neal returned to the big screen with the release of Steel, and the two people who saw it couldn't understand a word. That's cold. By the way, have you seen his new ad? Shaquille O'Neal, I think he's gained another 100 pounds. Looks like a building. And the ad is some kid with his mommy, and mommy says, what's your birthday wish? And he says, I wish Shaquille O'Neal was my big brother. And there's Shaquille O'Neal, and they're riding in the car together and stuff. I don't even know what the ad's for. I don't remember what the product is.
It's insurance, I think, right?
Oh, he does.
General.
Does he do the general? But that's it, because he does the general insurance.
Yeah, the kid breaks something, he blames Shaq for it or something.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Anyway, but he looked huge. And again, the first time I saw him at the radio station, where we got, he blocked the door. You couldn't see him going by the hall.
Full-size glass door, and the light stopped.
You couldn't see.
It was like, why is the light off in the hallway? It's because he's standing
there.
Somebody
blow a fuse or something? I mean, it was Shaquille O'Neal was in the building.
He comes to the bathroom. He's like, gentlemen.
God. All right, I'm out.
He sponsors over 20 different companies.
I know.
But he stays relevant.
Yeah.
He's funny.
He's very entertaining.
He gets life. He enjoys life. Good for him.
Like him and Charles Barkley's back and forth on TNT is really funny.
The problem is I can't understand Shaq on that.
Sometimes he
I was like, what?
It's not good. 1877. We could have been answering the phone by saying ahoy. That's what Alexander Graham Bell had suggested, and he invented the damn thing. Ahoy! Thomas Edison wrote a letter to the telegraph company president, though, saying hello would be better. And then Thomas Edison pulled the wings off some flies and threw a bag of kittens in the water. So it's a special thing he did every day. A couple of quick birthdays. Deborah Messing is 54. Crazy. Ben Affleck is 50. I like him as an actor. The Accountant and The Town.
Batman? I thought Batman was good.
The Accountant and The Town are two good movies.
I know.
With Ben Affleck starring. Jennifer Lawrence, 32. You know why? I like her. I like her acting style because she's one of those just real kind of natural and, just acts like kind of the girl next door, and she doesn't act like a big thing. But she's sort of, and I like her because she's sort of normal looking. She's kind of lumpy.
She's good looking.
She's very attractive, but she's sort of lumpy. I mean, she's
girl next door type.
Yeah, she is, and I like her. I like her acting, and although that movie, what was the movie where she played the dancer, then they crippled her to make her work for the Russians? Red Red Girl, Red Scare, Red.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's got a couple.
Atomic Blonde's better.
Yeah,
version
but it's
of
got
that.
the Russian movie. It's really well done, except they do too much of kinky sex scene.
Red Sparrow. That was
Red
a
Sparrow.
knockoff of Black Widow, the character in the Avengers.
Exactly.
It was kind of a knockoff of that.
And if they had cut out some of the stupid sexual gratifying stuff, it would have been a much better movie. But when it's on, I DVR'd. And
Yeah,
then,
but she's also a woke liberal.
oh, I know. I mean, I don't like her as a person, but I do. I like
Did
her.
you see
acting.
Passengers with Chris Pratt?
Did not see that.
They're the only two people on the spaceship hurtling through space.
Oh, I heard. And doesn't they wake up or something early? And
He wakes up early, and then he has to decide he doesn't want to spend the rest of his life alone because
Yeah.
we're talking 200 years to get to someplace.
Yeah.
So he wakes her up.
yeah, that's wow. How'd you like to make that decision?
Yeah, and
I'd be
then
pissed.
live with it when she finds out.
Yeah, that she
So,
didn't
but
have
it's
to.
a good movie. I like the movie.
Well, I didn't see it. So
Yeah, what
what's the
happens?
ending? I'm
Yeah,
never
yeah,
going to
what
see it. So
happens?
what happened? Did she get mad at him?
Spoiler alert! Spoiler! Oh,
Spoiler alert.
Because the bartender, he's a British actor. I forget his name.
Yeah, they put him to sleep to go into space for 200 years
Yeah,
or whatever
something
it
like
is, and
that.
then wake up and be in another thing or
and
whatever.
he wakes up.
And he wakes up. So
and he decides to wake
he would
her
die
up.
alone with her in the tube if he didn't.
Yeah,
wake
he
her.
watches her for months, and the thing is like, God, I'll just wake her up. I got to have somebody here with me. And then he doesn't tell her he woke her up. The robot bartender lets it slip.
Ooh.
Because you're there to talk. The only person he had to talk to was the robot bartender. So the robot bartender let it slip. And then all of a sudden something goes awry with the ship, and they have to work together to try and fix. So they wake up one of the captains, and who knows he's going to die. So because he's going to die before them, and it just ends up, basically they have to get back together if they're going to live.
So are they still in space at the ending, or do they go back to Earth, or do they go to a planet?
really
or-
wanna know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm never going to see it, so I don't give a shit. Now, if you want to see it,
No,
don't listen.
No. I'll even
I want.
watch it,
Yeah,
but I
what's
don't
the
care.
ending? Do they crash? They burn? They go back to Earth? They kill each other?
They fix the ship, and it's still hurtling toward this star they
The
need to
rendezvous.
get to.
Yeah.
And basically, it shows them getting older, and then it shows them they're dead. They eventually die, and the ship just keeps going. And what they planted and everything has grown up to it's like a little forest inside
be died.
the ship and everything. It was a pretty good movie.
Huh.
So
Well-
do they make it to their destination?
No, they die because they're
Because
not
they woke up-
frozen.
because they woke up?
They knew they were going to die.
They had a normal lifespan, but they don't live 200 years. That's why it took them 200 years to get to the planet or the star or whatever. Wow.
I think she ends up forgiving him, but it's
I
not
would've
the
killed
same
him.
after that.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to die? All right. You ain't going to make it to the star. I'm
In
sorry.
your sleep.
Pat Priest, remember that name?
Yes.
She played Marilyn Munster, that
Yeah.
very pretty blonde, platinum blonde, very pretty girl in the Munster TV
dun,
Munsters.
dun, dun.
Pat Priest is 86.
My favorite part of that show was Spot. Spot, their pet. He
yeah,
lived under the stairs.
Yeah, right.
The dragon.
By the way, Pat Priest has a cameo in the Rob Zombie remake. I didn't know the original Rob Zombie remake as a Transylvania Airlines announcer. So you look for Pat Priest in the Rob Zombie remake. Songwriter Jimmy Webb is 76 today. We mentioned one of your favorite songs. We talked about Glenn Campbell the other day. Jimmy Webb, among others, he wrote hundreds of songs. Among others, he wrote he wrote that one. Cough, cough, choke. He wrote By the Time I Get to Phoenix, Galveston, Wichita Lineman, MacArthur Park, Up and Away, Didn't We, Do What You Gotta Do, Worst Thing That Could Happen. I mean, rock songs, if you don't remember, know those titles, you would know the songs.
Of the 70s right there. Yeah.
76 years old.
Soundtrack of the 70s.
Larry Matthews is 67. Larry Matthews played Dick Van Dyke and Laura's kid on the Dick Van Dyke Show. The worst TV child actor in history. Couldn't stop smirking whenever he said a line.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I felt bad for him because he just couldn't stop smirking every time he made it. The hideous Maxine Waters, 84. She's another seditionist. Confront them everywhere they go. Melinda Gates is 58. And a billionaire.
Tell us, Melinda. Tell us the truth.
That's right.
She knows.
We'd like to know.
She
We'd
knows.
like to know everything about the Sodomy Island and Epstein and the whole deal.
That's why she left him.
And we know Bill Gates is kinky because he kept the girlfriend on the side and told his wife. And he said, every year I'm going to take a vacation with my girlfriend. And she let him do it. She would let him go. He'd go to like Africa, or he'd take her on tours around the world and stuff with his girlfriend.
Well, at least she was open about it.
Yeah, at least she was open about it. But and she said, fine. I guess it's worth the money. But she made that deal, I think, back before he had the money. Now, maybe he had it when he married her. I guess he had it when he married her. I don't remember. Anyway, Melinda Gates is 58. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, 84. Today. Speaking of Elvis, with the Colonel Tom Parker, a couple of quick song highlights. Speaking of some Elvis hits, and again, this is like his 45th anniversary of something or whatever. I don't know. The song "All Shook Up" from 1957. Songwriter Otis Blackwell had a huge success with his song "Don't Be Cruel." And then he couldn't think of anything. He said he was like hitting a wall. He couldn't figure out anything to write. And one day he was with a couple of publishers from the company, and one of the publishers was agitating a bottle of Coke, shaking it all up. And he said, geez, you ought to write something called "All Shook Up." And he did. And he wrote all shook up. And that was the biggest selling record of 1957 because the guy was shaking up a bottle of Coke.
Itching like a man in a fuzzy tree.
Burnin' Love, rocky period in Elvis's personal life, going through divorce with wife Priscilla. He was reluctant to record an upbeat piece called Hunka Hunka Burnin' Love. He said, it's hard to do rock and roll when you're heartbroken. The song was his last major hit, reached number 2.
Now, that's true. Now, he did a show, which I got hit at the show, a song early in the 50s called Hunka Hunka Love, which is a great rockabilly tune.
I don't know that one.
That wasn't a huge hit. Yeah. You're talking about Burnin' Love was a
Burnin'
big
Love.
hit.
Burnin' Love, 1972. It was the number 2 hit of all time that year, but the single that kept it from being number 1, Chuck Berry, My Ding-a-Ling.
What? 72?
Yep. 1972. It was the number 2 hit. The single that kept it from number 1 was Chuck Berry's Playfully Naughty My Ding-a-Ling. Now, far more memorable and enduring was the refrain in Elvis's hit, quote, a hunka hunka burnin' love, a phrase that became associated with him ever after. 2 more quickies. It's Now or Never, 1960.
Great song.
Elvis was in the army in Germany. He kept hearing the Italian ballad "O Sole Mio," popularized by Mario Lanza in the 50s, and he asked his team to devise an English version of "O Sole Mio." So they tailored the song to Elvis, resulting in a record that not only went to number 1, but displayed a new level of maturity in his delivery. He wanted to start growing as a singer. He practiced his range in Europe and started to try to show it off.
Good song.
Because he had a beautiful voice and really did have really good range.
My parents got his, they didn't like his rock, but they got his religious
Christmas
records.
music or gospel hymns, yeah. And one more, which is kind of kinky when you think about it. One of Elvis's most rocking songs was well known for its visuals as well as anything. From the movie Jailhouse Rock, Elvis starred. It was now viewed as one of the greatest proto-music videos of all time. Yeah. The energetic choreography featured Elvis shaking his hips with a full cast of dancing inmates. Some of the lyrics in the Lieber Stoller song referenced real criminals, including the organization known as the Purple Gang, real gangsters. But the most daring lyric has one inmate saying to another, quote, "You're the cutest jailbird I ever did see," a winking reference to prison sex. Yeah. And the censors never caught it or didn't get it. And Elvis never said a word ever in his life about you're the cutest jailbird I ever did see. Excuse me.
You got to stick around while I get my kicks.
I mean, wait a minute. That was
rhymes with kicks.
Woo. Anyway, speaking of twisted, what's this about a special cake for your kids going crazy or something?
I'm glad you asked.
Some fun facts of weirdness of some kind.
Casey has a niece who turned 3 today. She's only 3.
3, okay.
Big Lion King fan she is.
Wow, okay, cool.
Did you ever see the movie The Lion King?
I know of it. I never saw it.
I saw the musical on Broadway. It was very good. Very
really
inventive.
Cool.
But anyway.
Yeah.
She asked for a Lion King cake.
Okay.
But a specific moment in the movie.
Uh-oh.
Now, you know anything about the movie? Have you seen
the
movie, Flounder?
Yes.
Well, all right, what's the movie?
There's a movie where the dad, it's a Disney movie, so either the dad or the mom, usually the mom, gets killed.
Yeah, always. Bambi, yeah. Pick one.
And so Mufasa the king dies. He's killed by Scar.
The beginning, yeah, that's at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Wow.
So he's laying there. She wanted a specific moment when Mufasa dies because, quote, everyone will be too sad to eat the cake and it will be all for me.
Oh my God, she's 3?
And there is the cake.
Oh,
Showing the dead lion by
dead
the cake.
lion on the cake they made her so
With the cub lion on top looking down at his dead
Well,
dad.
we know who she's going to vote for in 18 years.
That's a lot of icing.
I respect
years.
her.
Yeah.
I respect her a lot there.
Did you bring enough for everybody?
Experiencing goosebumps when
Yeah.
listening to music. There's 2 songs that always get me. Day in the Life and I Can See Clearly Now. Gives me goosebumps. Both of those songs. But anyway.
The Johnny Nash song?
Yeah, I love that when he
gives you
gets into that thing.
goosebumps?
It gives me goosebumps when he gets to that thing where he sings that big crescendo in the song. It's just an amazing song.
Wow.
It's perfect.
And what, Day in the Life? I didn't
A
even
Day
know
in the
that.
Life is the Beatles. Beatles, yeah. I woke up, fell out of bed.
Starts off as a beautiful song, and then it kind of just goes almost psychedelic.
I went upstairs and had a smoke and went into a dream, and then it goes into a chorus.
think I
God,
know
that's
that song.
goosebumpy. You do know that. Like,
I'm sure if I heard
you've
it,
heard it 1,000 times.
Jeff Beck does an unbelievable instrumental version of that song.
Really?
Very good.
That's now we got to count the holes in Blackford, Lancashire. You've heard the song.
I'm sure
it's
I
the end
have.
of Sergeant
I'm
Pepper.
sorry,
it's the
I
last
can't-
song on Sergeant Pepper. You know, at the end where they do the note out and it goes bong, and the note just goes on forever.
You want me to pull it
I'm
up?
having a total block. I'm
Pull
sorry.
it up and play that part if you
Okay.
can.
All right, we'll do that while you're speaking. All right, and the reason you're mentioning this was because it gave you goosebumps.
If you listen to music and it gives you goosebumps, that's very rare.
Yeah. Oh, I have that. I've told you many times how that makes me shiver. A lot of hymns do.
Right.
I mean, literally make me almost cry. And if I'm in church and and the sound of it of the harmony, there's certain kinds of harmony, notes in harmony that just make me shake.
It's a process of connecting auditory cortex to the areas responsible for emotional processing. It basically gets right to your parts of your brain.
Yeah. Well, I know that I am very overly emotional. I was a crybaby as a kid until I was like 12 or 13 even. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Day in the
I
Life.
said the news. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've never really enjoyed that
Well,
much because it wasn't very pretty. It was kind of a.
Well, go, see if you can jump ahead to the when McCartney's doing that. Yeah, turn it up. You were, it's perfect. You had it. No, you're way behind. Well, yeah, that's perfect.
On the way downstairs and drank a cup, and looking up, I noticed I was late. Found my coat and grabbed my hat, made the bus in seconds flat. Found my way upstairs and had a smoke, and somebody spoke and I went into a dream.
And you're getting.
Oh yeah,
It's amazing.
I love
I'm thinking,
that.
if I heard this on the radio, I would be.
That
definitely
revolutionized
changing the
rock
channel.
and roll. Not only that album, but
Wow.
that song, especially when they were high as kites. It was yeah.
See, I am totally out. I don't even like that music. It's not pretty. It doesn't have any rhyme to it or harmony. I'm sorry.
God.
I'm just,
Stop
but again,
talking.
if you play me, if you play
talking.
Andrea Bocelli and what's her name from Canada
shoot
singing
me.
"My Prayer," I'm gonna shiver.
Please
and
don't play
start
that.
crying.
All right. Mixing alcohol with diet soda will get you more drunk than mixing it with regular soda.
With diet soda,
Diet
alcohol
soda.
with diet. No,
Which
what
is
is it? The
disgusting,
sugar
by
must
the
take
way.
out something in the alcohol.
We have our first spam account following us.
Spam,
Oh,
spam,
goody.
spam.
What
spam.
is
It's
it?
a nude HD XYZ, best adult dating site.
Oh, goody. That's what I need. Is another nude
I love that.
anything.
I think that's weird that comes right after this on here. Let's see if I can find this stupid thing. Argue with me here. That comes right after Bob said, "I love you guys. Please keep them coming. Oh, and I like it when Pete laughs. It sounds so devilish."
Devilish. I don't know. All right.
Data shows that people who stop listening to the newest pop music after the age of 33. which is kind of right. You stop listening to the latest pop music at 33. You just kind of tune out. And everyone says, I'm not going to be one of those old fogies that doesn't listen to modern music, but we all become that.
Because you just want to listen to what you like.
Now, you listen to pop music more than most people do. You do, because you listen to Taylor and all that other crap.
I listen to all the
It's known as taste freeze. But in our sense,
I believe I'm sure that's true. Yeah. I mean, but
my
think,
dad does that a good bit. He's starting to he's liking some of the newer, just upbeat, kind of happy tempo songs almost.
It's rare when I like a song nowadays. It's very rare when I hear a song. Okay, if you want to remember something, you're studying for a test or something, you want to remember it when you're actually taking the test.
Yeah, do it right before you go to bed.
Chew a specific flavor of gum while studying, then chew that same gum when taking the test, and you will remember everything.
Yeah, because the senses are linked. If you play music, I'll bet if you played a certain song while you studied a certain subject, and I'll bet if you played that song in your headphones or something in class, I'll bet that would do the same thing. I believe that stuff. You know, Pavlov's experiment, for God's sakes.
Yeah. You're going to start
I'm
salivating?
Salivating whenever I eat a dog. Wait, what?
What? All right, that's all I had. You want to do Bad Text Theater? All right, let's see.
Let's pick something.
Let's pick something here. Tag 10 minute. There we go.
Let's see. Last one we did was the iPhone case.
Nice without. All right, then we got a woman and two women talking. So it's like a Monty Python skit.
Oh my
here.
God!
You can be the first woman.
How could you get anything done?
I'm the first one. I'm the first woman. The day my husband asked me to pay half the rent, I'm packing my bags.
And go where? You can't even afford to pay half the rent.
All right, let's do another.
That's not funny.
All right, now we already did the drum solo one. That budget cut thing is not very good. Let's go to the first guy and second guy talking about the Guinness Book of World Records. You see it? It's in blue. Should be in blue, I guess. It's down a little bit. He says something about Guinness Book of World Records.
No. Or we could do the one where the picture of the two women sitting side by side on a bench outside not speaking.
I heard a joke that there's a guy who says the best 72 Jewish jokes ever. And it's a Jewish guy, so it's YouTube, and he goes down all 72. He says, okay, there's a priest, a rabbi, and a mom. They're playing golf. And they like to go early, on the weekdays because there's nobody there, and they like to play fast, so they just go through. So they show up there, and the only people in front of them, there's two people in front, two guys. And they're going, oh, this is going to be great. We're going to blow through this. Takes forever. The guys in front of them, the two guys stop at every single hole. The other guy's showing them this and showing them that, and they got to go over
10
every
practice
read.
strokes
It takes
and
forever.
Line up the putts forever, yeah.
So and that they're yelling at him the whole time, blah, blah, blah. So they get to the clubhouse attendant at the end and goes, how was your golf game? Oh, it was horrible. It's just horrible. We got behind these two guys. They were the absolute worst, slow as hell. You really need to do something about these guys. And the clubhouse attendant says, well, that was a learning golf lesson for the blind. And on the priest goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry I said this. I'm going to do a sermon this week about helping the blind. We're going to take our entire collection and give to the blind. Have you heard this joke?
I know this.
And the imam goes, oh, this is the worst thing ever. I'm going to start a foundation. We're going to for the blind to help the
poor blind people.
Poor blind golfers and everything. And they look at the rabbi, and rabbi goes, say it.
But they couldn't play at night.
Well, anyway, did you find the joke?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. The first guy, second guy. Which one are you going to be?
Let's see. I'll be the first guy.
All righty then.
At 10 hours and 56...
No. What the hell are you doing? That's not it.
Well, find that one, and then you'll know where it is the one you want. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, I will tell you a minor story here. I actually, growing up, or much younger years, my brother's a couple of golf pros. We used to play night golf, where one of the guys at one of the courses we played, in fact, when my brother was a golf pro, and we'd go out with golf carts and flashlights in the dark with moonlight, and that was it. And we'd actually play golf at night, and it was freaking great.
Thanks for covering.
We were also hammered.
What the hell were you doing there? Anyway. All
All
right.
Now we're back. Okay.
First guy, second guy. You're going to be first?
You're going to be the first guy.
I'll be the first guy?
Yeah. All right, there you go.
My penis is in the Guinness Book of World Records.
What?
Yeah, but the librarian told me to take it out.
Ho, hey, hi-oh, ho. Thank you. All right, look out. And we don't know when we'll be back. We'll be back.
Yeah, that could be the last one we ever do.
It may not I mean, we're planning on coming. I mean, we'll definitely be back, but we're on vacation for a few days. So anyway, final thoughts, boys. Thank you. God bless you. Honestly, I wish we could do this every day and back on the radio and everything else, but we're doing the best and we'll keep doing it because we love you. And thank you all our overseas international viewers. I mean, and the people who donate, God bless you. In the meantime... Thank you.
Ahoy.
We gotta go. You're killing me. Semper Fi, and we will... You gonna that way?